back playing a new show. We're not even playing, we're writing, we're thinking, putting our minds to work, and how are we all doing? Good to see you, Squeezy. Thanks for that host. How was your show earlier, Grant? Good to see you, man. What's up, Pixie Gal? What's up, Treybit? What's up, Kalen? Mighty LP Chat. All you guys are here.
Hey, wait,
hanging out.
Squeegee? I'm a big fan, Squeegee.
Big fan, Squeegee. Yeah, okay. And Touchback, good to see you, man. How's your holiday? Glad you're back. What's up, Mike from Armade Gaming? He's going to be on our show later today because we're playing Numenera tonight at 4 p.m. EST. So in a little bit, we'll be playing some more shows as well. So, yes, as you can see below us, we have some crimes which we have committed, and we are guilty of many terrible things, such as public indecency, grave robbing and necromancy, aggravated manslaughter. Obviously, over there, Aaron has got 5 DUIs, dungeoneering, under the influence. So you've got to watch out for this guy. But yeah, we today are going to be creating some homebrew classes, some races, and reviewing some of your own as well. So if you are new here, then you might not know what we're doing here, but this is our first show, so none of us do, actually. Not even we do. But basically, we're going to spend a couple of hours creating our own creations, our own races, classes, backgrounds, and stuff like that. And the third hour, you can send in your own machinations, creations, to the email or in chat. You can drop us a link and we'll have a review and a look at the stuff that you've been making, or maybe you have a homebrew class that you want us to have a look at to see if it's any good, or if you're allowed to play it, that sort of stuff. Also, whilst I was dying, I need to thank Gilderon for the follow. Welcome, Clevench, my friend. You are gentle, Gilderon, and a scholar. Of course, if you guys are new, we are on our roads to 4,000 here. So we're just something like 13 followers away from that. So if you haven't followed, hit that follow button and join us. This is our 10th show. So we now have a 5-day-a-week, 10-show-a-week show, which is pretty cool. But I guess for today, we should let you guys know what we're going to start creating. So you can see we've got our monster manual here. We've also got the player's handbook around and up, and we've also got a few other books and bits that we might be using for today's show. But I asked you guys the other day, what would we start creating? And you guys had a bunch of ideas. I've got a whole list of different races, classes, backgrounds, items, ideas that you guys threw my way. So yeah, it is... Yeah, Touchpad asks, is it possible to request a homebrew race? Yeah, it is. It might not be gotten to as soon that quickly, but certainly we will try to get to all of your guys' requests as possible. And there we go. My ear picture has seen the little Donna here. There it is. So yeah, shout out to Aaron for creating this overlay today. But let's get into today's show. So in our Google document, which we have named Homebrew and Review, you can see we're going to create a new class known as the Battle Chef. So what on earth is a Battle Chef? I guess is probably the best thing to start off with, the best question to begin with. What is a Battle Chef? So I guess what me and Aaron are going to be doing, we're going to be showing you workings and ideas, and you guys will be helping us write stuff as well. So feel free to just shout at us as much as possible and to tell us we're doing things wrong, or throw ideas our way, basically. You're gentle Aaron and a scholar, indeed, yes. You want to request a bottle gnome homebrew race? That's funny. All right, I'll put it on my list. I got one here. But okay, let's start into today's one. So, the Battle Chef. Aaron, when you hear the words class Battle Chef, what immediately springs to mind for you? Well, for me, it's Camille 36 from Czechoslovakia. Welcome to the event, my friend. You are a gentle Camille, and a scholar one step closer on that road to 4,000. Thank you very much, Camille. So go ahead, Aaron. What jumps to mind for you?
Well, okay, first off, it was classic barbarian with some kind of kitchen utensil. But I mean, we gotta go a little bit beyond that, right?
Right.
So, Battle Chef.
What jumps to mind for me is, I don't know if you ever played any like old Warhammer tabletop stuff, or in fact, even better example is like hobbits in the Lord of the Rings, because someone like Sam using like a saucepan to fight goblins. Seems like he might be a battle chef.
Right, so
A cook that can kill you with oil, maybe.
yeah, exactly. So like improvised weapon feats, the ability to make food that might alter stats one way or another. I mean,
yeah, that sounds cool. Apparently your mic is really, really low compared to mine. So you might want to bump your volume up. Lord Skash says, Jax jumped to mind to me.
This guy's one of my old players. He literally played a barbarian chef, so...
There we go.
Battleship now, guys?
Hopefully we'll get some feedback on that. Thanks for that, guys. ERP chat says, Battle Chef creating food that can buff or debuff. I like that idea of mechanic. Of like it could be. So let's write down here. I don't know if they can see the Google document list, Aaron, but sure. What we could have is like it could be some kind of support class. In that they're not a real damage dealer, but they give buffs, debuffs. Apparently volume is about the same as before. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
No worries. I'll keep talking. They like the idea of a Tinkerer Engineer class. That is on the list, Morgan Shag. In fact, what I might do is I might make the list public on our website so you guys can see the ones that we'll get down onto.
Okay, what about now? Is it better now? Because it was turned down to like 30%, so that might have... Yeah.
Battle Chef could make use of a lot of things. Tools, hot oil, herbs, spices, those even for healing. I like that a lot, yeah. What's up, Skagger? Good to see you here. What's up, kid, you guys, and Kaki? So I like the idea of a support class, buffs and debuffs through spices, oils, and foods. I imagine thinking about the mechanic for a moment here is that, you know, the flavor of exactly what they're making could be up to them. So it could be a spice, it could be an oil, it could be a dish or something like that. But we could leave that sort of open up to them.
Could be very similar to basically a bard. Basically party buffs based on food. He'll make like a stew in the morning, and because he's prepped it, because he spent like an hour making stew and everyone ate it, then for the rest of the day everyone has a +1 to hit or plus to a certain skill, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, that works for me. Kayla Night Eyes. The reason you're not roll, the reason it comes up fail message is because you don't have enough gold to roll. That's the problem if you're like new and you haven't followed. But the way to fix that is if you haven't followed, then you get 100 gold and you can start rolling and dungeoning and stuff like that.
Okay, volume is way better, sweet.
Blinding paprika. Morgan says collecting plants and herbs, creating food or supplements that can buff or nerf, but I feel it's too much like a chemist or what's the word, alchemist. Okay, yeah.
Because Pathfinder literally has a class called an alchemist, which is very similar to this. Like, you can apply potions to food, basically, and stuff, so...
Yeah, I need to be careful with a chef. For true balance of D&D5, guys have always kept the buff classes matched to a caster. You're limited by the number of times you can do it. Yeah, exactly. So if we're likening it to a like the bard class, then we could have something like a... So if we look up, I'll go and look up the ruling on bardic inspiration, because this is something similar that we can use to kind of template our class on. Because the important thing to do with this, I think, is to keep it balanced. And the way to do that, I think, one way to do that is to basically template a lot of the things that they do in the 5th edition book, and then to change a few things. Because if you go completely off the rails and make bizarre and completely different things, then you're either going to be really overpowered or really underpowered, right? So yeah, maybe it could be limited to one buff or debuff at a time. Chef class alchemist looking to D&D on after Arcana's artificer. Well, I think the artificer is a little bit different because that's more like a tinkerer engineer, right?
Because one picture is basically the equivalent, like kind of like a battle medic. It's like a chef. He's used to making a large amount of slop for like 100 people every day. So he can basically have like he's pretty much just a fighter barbarian, but once per day he can basically make a meal that feeds like a crap ton of people, and then he's limited to basically one thing per day, one buff or one debuff kind of thing per day.
That sounds cool.
Because I'm picturing like this kind of like battle-hardened chef who's been like in the trenches and that kind of shit. You know, he's. It doesn't taste good, but he gets the job done. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like a battle medic, sort of like medic sort of thing. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
I like that. And also, thank you so much to Skitra for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentle Skitra and a scholar. We're so close to this 4,000 mark now, guys. It's getting scary.
How you doing, Skitra?
Yeah.
He's one of my mods. So he dragged him over here.
Get over here. I like the idea of creating 1 meal per day, which can maybe you could have an option of the meal that you're creating. So maybe we could have a kind of thing where it could be like either the stew feeds a lot of people and it has a limited effect, or it affects like one person and has a bigger effect.
We can have like it requires so many pounds of raw material. Like you can make like a feast which feeds like 20 people, but it requires 20 pounds of potatoes or meat or just anything in particular. And we can basically have different buffs. Like if your meal contains meat, then you can choose this buff. If it contains potatoes, it's this buff, and those kind of things.
That could be cool, actually, yeah.
Because people usually just glaze over what they eat. They're just like, I just eat trail rations. Like, it's just raisins and nuts. And then they never really detail it. We kind of make resting unique, because basically when you're resting, you got people taking watch. You got one dude who's like, okay, well, guys, today I'm going to make something with fish and potatoes, and tomorrow it's going to give us a buff on this, because I think that's what we need tomorrow.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Which can buff the party, so similar to like a... So yeah, I'm looking at Bardic Inspiration here. So one way we could frame this is to do so, use a bonus action on your turn to inspire someone else. You choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet of you who can hear you. That creature gains 1 Bardic Inspiration die, a d6. Once within next 10 minutes, the creature can roll a die and add the number rolled to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes. The creature can wait until after it rolls a d20 before deciding to use the Bardic Inspiration die, but must decide before the DM says whether the roll succeeds or fails. So I like that, where it's... and we could make the sort of thing where I'm thinking... so Guidance is another spell on 5th edition. And you can give a person a d4 to add to a skill check. But you can only give that to one person because it's concentration. So the ways of balancing it are to have certain uses, a limited amount of uses, and we can stipulate that with the ingredients, essentially. Or you can... I forgot my sentence now. Never mind. This makes me think of the Monster Hunter food mechanic. I'm not familiar with that one, but we could use something like that, I guess, if it works. All right, let's carry on writing here. So it creates 1 meal per day, which can buff the party. Requires raw food material, I guess. Can buff multiple NPCs, or focus on one, I guess.
You can make like one small meal type thing?
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe you could have this idea where it's you can do a big effect over a large group that has a limited effect. So you can say, I'm going to target 5 people, but it's going to have a lower effect. I'm just going to focus everything on this one person and put all my spices and oils into this one dish for this one person.
That's where the whole, like, the battle chef comes in. Like, he sees someone down, he's like, goes up, basically mixes something right there in his mortar and pestle. He's like, here, drink this, you know? It's like these mushed up leaves, you know?
Yeah. What about something like the Bless spell? Do you have, like, a link to the Bless spell so I can look that up? That would be helpful. Okay. Multiple NPCs, or on one. Some other things that class usually have. So I'm looking at the bard here. So obviously we need to think of things like hit points, hit dice per level, the proficiencies that you might have, the sort of equipment which you might come with. If he is, if we're kind of templating him similarly to like a spellcaster, then maybe his like
no armor proficiencies at all.
Right. Yeah. Maybe just like a cloth or something like that.
Yeah.
In Monster Hunter, you can eat once per request, giving you buffs to different stats, and a few feats for that quest, depending on ingredients and ways of preparing it. That's interesting. Kalen says, you bless up to 3 creatures of choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before burns, the target can roll a d4 and add the number of attacks. Okay, yeah, so that works similarly to like the spell Guidance. Okay, that would work well.
And that could be like one of the things for food, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's think about like... okay, it's great. We got the battle chef.
I had an idea for weapons.
Yeah?
Like, I mean, if they're spellcaster, basically, they're not going to have any armor proficiencies or any weapon proficiencies, but we could say that they're allowed to use kitchen utensils like pans as the equivalent of a club.
That's cool, yeah. So,
and that's it. Like, that's their own... They can use, like, a frying pan, and it's a club, which is, like, I think a d6 plus strength, and that's it. Like, they have no other weapon proficiencies at all.
Okay, that would work, yeah. So like a club...
yeah.
Or, blunt weapon,
I'm not sure about 5th edition. I know Pathfinder has the feat with improvised weapons, which basically allows you to pick up any item and use it as a club. Just like chair, leg, whatever. It's basically that, but it's limited to pans, and it wouldn't make the spellcaster overpowered, I think.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, there's poisons damage enemy, but otherwise could just class deliver damage. Yeah, I like the idea of having, there's pots and pans. You could have poison.
Sneak into enemy camps and poison their food.
Yeah. Poison and mass poisoning, maybe.
Right.
So that could be cool. Otherwise just class deal damage. I mean, depends if we're going mostly. If I could see it, mostly as like a support class, maybe. So the way they deal damage aren't so important, I suppose.
I mean, they're basically bards, and they just do it through food. It's as simple as that. They're not really meant to survive alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be interesting to have them have a lot of con, just for the fact like they're durable to poisons and stuff, because they've eaten so much rotten food.
Yeah, that's cool actually. Like resistances to that would be interesting. And thanks so much to KC Dino 12 for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You are a gentle dino.
Oh, 10 followers away now.
Oh my boy.
That is close. Come on, guys. This guy deserves it.
That's scary.
We'll make that today.
One option would be to actually make them a magic cook, i.e. when someone has eaten magical feast in the morning, they get a base benefit, but the caster then has additional set spells that can only be cast on the people who have eaten. They could still have some spells that affect enemies, e.g. puke, cause human NPC to be sick. That could be good, yeah. So we could go over the way that they are actually just a spellcaster, similar to how Bard is actually a spellcaster. And then, I like that idea. Spore class, spells. Spells used on the PC/enemies, and they could be those buffs and debuffs, like those, I cast puke, which is, I throw rotten meat into his mouth and he just pukes up or something like that.
I do have an idea how we can do the poison. Because if they're not very dex or, base at all, they shouldn't really be sneaking into enemy camps to poison food. Because they're just not a class build for, they'll die from one hit kind of thing. But I'm kind of a history nerd. And if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I read it, but I read an article about this one Persian army who needed to basically siege this forest area, right? And the entire forest area was full of soldiers, and they were up in trees, down trenches, kind of things. What they did is they put these huge cauldrons up on a hill overlooking the forest, and basically filled it with all kinds of horrible things. And with the huge this plume of smoke from the flesh and stuff that was cooking, they basically had the wind just roll that through the woods, and it nauseated pretty much everyone in there. And when they stormed them, they stormed with basically these silken robes in front of their face stuff. Maybe the battle chef can basically do that. He can make this giant cauldron of slop, and if the wind is with him, he can just blow that in towards enemy camps and give them a debuff without actually having to go in there himself.
That would be cool, yeah. That would be very cool. I like that idea a lot. Yeah, they can poison multiple enemies and give them all a debuff.
Basically like a noxious gas on the area, but his own allies would be immune for some reason or another. They're just used to his cooking, basically.
Yeah. He can give them. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea from ERP chat can cast purity food and drink a cantrip once per day.
That is a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
But that way he would never have to go in and risk his own life to poison them. He probably could, and it would be a lot more effective, because that would be deadly poison. The smoke would probably be just a minor debuff type of thing, but...
Yeah. Cast purity food and drink as cantrip once per day, okay. Food and drink as a cantrip once per day. So I'm looking here at the Bard one. If we're going to a similar sort of style of this, I'm not sure how well this will be faster.
You got a little bit quiet now for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Might just be me. Hold on.
I don't know.
No, you're better now. There.
Okay, weird. So, so here, the cantrips known for first level. So, proc bonus should be a +2, since it's level 1. You can have cantrips known. Oops. Cantrips known 2. And spells known looks like 4 on here.
Should we have create water as a cantrip as well?
We'll have to check what level that is. But that could be cool, yeah.
Yeah, because in Pathfinder, that's a level 0 cantrip for a lot of classes, so... I just figured if he's going to be making stews and slops, which is pretty much 90% of food in that age, so...
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it is in 5th edition.
Hot oil bombs. Yeah, that's a bit more alchemist stuff, I guess. I've been having a problem with Roll20's OGL character sheet not counting proficiency of spell damage modifier. Have you had this problem as well? Not that I've noticed, but maybe I have, and I just haven't noticed it. Aaron's idea by giving a disadvantage on attack rolls for 1d4 rounds, that could be cool, yeah.
Yeah, like if they fail a fortitude save, then they get a d4 rounds of minuses. Like, the enemy should probably get a save against it.
Yeah, some kind of save involved, yeah. So like a saving throw based one, that would work. So yeah, we've got... That would work. Let's see. So I think, so if we're going with hit points, it could be like a 1d8, similar to a bard.
Right. Create or destroy water's level 1 spell. Wow, they upped that then. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1d8 per battle chef level. Perfect. Just getting some basic information stuff down. So like...
Because their two main stats will probably be Constitution, just for the fact that they are durable, you know, vitality-wise, and then I assume Wisdom, because that's what you use for survival checks and stuff to find resources.
That could be interesting if like their spellcasting ability is Constitution based. That would be weird.
Yeah, and they probably have a little bit of the Ranger thing where they have to like scavenge, you know, areas for mushrooms, whatever they need in their soups.
Yeah.
Because then they are basically, we have a spellcaster that is Con Wiz, which is kind of unique.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. Create food what's first level. Okay, yeah. Create or destroy what's first level.
Yeah.
It's about to poison the tips of arrowhead and blade tips, maybe. Potentially, that seems more like a. I think the rogue assassin does that. Bard's charisma base. Don't know if a chef needs something like that. So let's have like a spellcasting ability could be. I like the idea. It could be con. What do we think of the idea of it being con based? Because it's like resisting all of these terrible diseases.
He's had salmonella like 5 times over. He's not getting it again. He's done.
He's not getting
basically. You can't food poison him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It can be really interesting, like mundane thing. Like even if a food has gone bad, they can still make edible food out of it.
That would be interesting.
I don't know if that's like, you know, just put that as like a role play thing, you know, not an actual like stat wise or anything. It's just the general concept of their class.
Yeah. Spellcasting ability con. We've got like we said proficiencies, no armor proficiencies, right? Or maybe just cloth.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of a studded leather apron?
True, that is true.
It's like die, you know, kiss the chef on it.
Yeah. As about chef, you're resistant to poison. That's a good point. I don't think that has been written down. I'll put that out there. So
we could just copy what dwarves already have. If in Pathfinder they're resistant to poisons, are they in 5th edition as well?
So usually resistance to poisons comes as like a race thing, but it could be interesting if it's a class thing as well.
Right. And if you are a dwarf battle chef, you find a way to double that up some way or something.
Yeah. So
I mean, basically, what you could say is that because currently they are con based, right? And fortitude goes on con.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I need to go grab my GM book for 5th edition.
Yeah. So resistance to
iron
poison.
Aprons are a thing for some blacksmiths. Why not for the chef?
True. Yeah. Con spellcasting means players will be buffing their spellcasting ability and HP 2. Might get pretty strong quickly. That is a point.
I'll just go grab that book real quick, just so I have it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point you made there. So maybe not con, but maybe it is because they do just no damage. Maybe they could be a kind of buff/tank sort of thing. Because HP itself isn't like the most powerful statistic, really. Let's think here. So, like, saving throws, obviously, we'll throw them in. We could have con, and we think of saying wisdom before. We could have as our next saving throws. We'll put it as that. See what you guys are saying here. Yes, dwarves have dwarven resiliency advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance against poison damage. So maybe we just give them advantage on saving throws against poison.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. Let me sort that out into normal Hexstone that. Yeah, I think if we don't give them the full Dwarven one, we just give them advantage on saving throws against poison. That would work for me. Problem with making it tank class in 5e is literally, it's really hard to make them compete with barbarians and tank. Yeah, but I mean, they're not competing on that tank level, are they? Because like, if they were, because barbarians aren't a buff. So if we had it based on constitution, it'd be like a support / tank sort of class, whereas a barbarian is, you know, damage dealer and sort of tank. So that could work. Problem making a tank. Sorry, I was reading that one before. Butchery skills. Yes. I like the idea of we could call this ability butchery skills.
Well, I mean, that'd be kind of interesting because they'll work really well with like archers, rogues who can actually go out and hunt, and then make far more out of that elk that they got than just, you know, oh, let's just cook it on fire type of thing. That
would be cool, actually. Yeah, because maybe the chef can't hunt very well.
Unless he can like bash rabbits over the head with a frying pan. I mean,
yeah. That's quite a set of crimes, Will. Well, they got me good this time, Pepper. They got me good this time. Maybe give them something to detect poison in food and drinks. That'd be cool, yeah. I want to give them a high hit die if they have more con heavy, like a D10. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe if we're going for a tanky class, we could throw them up with a D10 per battle chef level.
Right.
And then
because they are a very weak caster.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going with a balance between a tank and a support class. So he's not like brilliant at anything, I guess, not brilliant at either one of those two, where like the barbarian excels as being a tank and you know, the bard excels at being a buff, but it kind of in this in between zone. So if you want a bard that doesn't immediately die, you could go with a battle chef maybe. So 1d10 plus constitution, I think it is, they usually do, plus your constitution modifier.
Yeah, so I mean, they're durable as hell, basically, already at level 1.
Yeah, they're...
I mean, the problem is they just can't do armor, they can't do weapons, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
so, yeah, proficiencies, where is that? Armor, none. Weapons... I guess weapons, we could have them as... Maybe that's why we have butchery skills.
Yeah.
So they can use pots and pans. But they can't use... I mean, they're not trained in, like, maybe just, like, simple weapons.
Right.
Well, I was thinking higher meat and pelt yields than most other characters. Say the ranger brings back an elf, the chef can get more from the body. That's true. That's probably more of like a fluff sort of thing that your DM might say.
No, but that's actually what we're doing with the food. Like the ranger could bring back the elk, and if it was just fighters, all that, they'd cook it up and the DM be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you guys heal an extra HP at night. But the battle chef, he can literally say, I'm going to make a stew, and he looks at the ingredient list and goes, oh, meat. Okay, that means you all, you know, you gain a D6 HP tonight or something like that. Like, that's how he literally gets more out of it, is because he does have that list of what he gets from the slop when he makes it.
That could be cool. As well, what I'm thinking is at level 3, you take different paths. And so, you know, you could have these different paths. So one is I'm going more attack-based. The other is more I'm going full support. Maybe one down the middle. Or one which is more like poisony or something like that. Can use a butcher's knife as a short sword. Okay, let's have them as, like, simple weapons as well. So maybe like just a simple weapon proficiency, which is basically short sword, dagger, and they're all pretty bad.
Basically, there'd be like meat cleaver, which would be hand axe, and you probably have like oh, what is it called? The little hammer you use to soften meat. What the hell is that called again?
It's like a tenderizer thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Furthermore, butchery skills can be proficiency with knives. Okay, how about we said something like. Butchery skills could be, you can use, what about is like you could use any weapon as like an improvised, we could use any weapon as like a same statistics as a dagger, or maybe it's you get advantage on like short sword and dagger stuff, what the RP chat there were like proficiencies of knives. So you got proficiency with simple weapons.
Mallet, thank you.
About some kind of advantage, tenderizer and mallets, some kind of advantage on having like when you attack like a meat cleaver or with a dagger, or some way to buff that somehow.
They apply con?
Sorry?
They could apply con to hit or damage, something like that, because it is their main stat already.
That could be interesting.
Or alternatively, if they are going the whole, they're butchers, they know exactly what parts of the body, you know, of an elk to scavenge, you can apply wisdom to damage because they know exactly where to hit you. They know where the organs are, where it's critical, all that.
That could be interesting.
Just because they have a knowledge of biology from being butchers, basically.
That could be interesting if you...
But only when they use a kitchen utensil. Because they have no idea with the sword, but they know exactly what to do with a meat cleaver.
That's true, yeah.
So they'd apply both strength and wisdom to damage. And hit, yeah.
That could be quite down. Yeah, so you'd have... you can apply the wisdom modifier, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're not maxing wisdom. Wisdom should be like your second one, it looks like. Because if your spell ability is con, you're maxing out con.
Right. Wisdom would be for all skills, basically, just survival and all that.
Yeah. Modifier to damage rolls used with knives.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. So you'd have, what's a dagger? 1d4 plus wisdom plus, plus strength plus wisdom.
Yeah.
That could be cool, because then dagger actually does some damage.
And what that means is that you can have a chef that doesn't have to have focused on strength. He can have negative strength, but still make up for it.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Butchery skills advantage on attack rolls against animals because their knowledge of them. Bleeding status on hit of an attack. That could be cool. You could turn it into subclasses. Butcher, someone who's better at... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of at level 3. You can
go out butcher, chef, and then something else.
Yeah, like a poisoner or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the idea of butchery skills. I like the idea of battle chef resistance, so it can't be poisoned very easily.
I would love to play this in like a pirate campaign, be like the ship chef, basically.
That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's go to skills. So you usually get a choice of skills that you can take at level 1. So bards get choose any free. Depends if we want to be that open. I like the idea of maybe like medicine as being a choice there. Depends how open we want that class to be, because usually they give you a choice of. So if I'm looking at barbarian, you can choose skills. Choose 2 from animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival. So you could choose 2.
Survival seems pretty obvious. The whole searching out. Like, they don't have knowledge of nature because they don't know how things, but they know how, like, oh, I remember this much, remember what it did, you know?
Yeah.
If they are going to be scavenging for supplies.
Yeah, so what about choose 2 from, we'll just write them down and we can order them like alphabetically. So, I like the idea of survival. Maybe medicine? To be that kind of battle medics chef sort of thing. If you want it to be a support class, you might want to choose a medicine. And in these ones they have choices of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 6 skills which they can use. And we look up all the different skills which we might want a battle chef to use. If you guys in chat can think of it in as well, if you think of any skills that they might want to be using, then feel free to shout them out to us and we'll pick up on some. Let me go into my latest game here. Oh, Lamborghini. Very brave, very brave. Let me bring up my character sheet here. So I'm thinking on skills. Here we go. So we've got acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight, intimidation. That could be interesting. Intimidation. Investigation, medicine, nature seems like it could be another one. Perception, performance, persuasion, religion, sleight of hand, stealth, and survival. Maybe stealth as being one as well. I like the idea of stealth. Because you might want to be that sneaky kind of one that kind of sneaks into camp and poisons everyone. That could be interesting to give them advantage on that. To give them the ability to take that skill. That could be cool. What else could we have here?
What page are skills on in the player's book?
I do not have it. I'm not looking at that.
Oh, I thought you were in the book. Never mind. I'll find it myself.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking up on Roll20. I have all the skills there. Deception might be good. Okay. Deception could be cool, yeah. So make them a kind of potential to go down a few different routes here. Because the survival and medicine, maybe nature in there as well. What do you think? Yeah, okay. And then we could have And then we need, looks like, one more for this. So I think some skills, guys. Animal handling, probably not. Insight is wisdom based. Which ones are constitution based? None of them.
Animal handling could be interesting.
Okay.
If the chef basically had like a chicken or a goat or something as a pet.
That could be cool.
But we have to be careful so we're not like stepping too much on like the area of rangers.
True, yeah. But that could be one of like the paths that you can go down. Is like the battle chef with a sous chef.
Yeah.
Who is like an animal, maybe. That could be cool.
And he basically brings these. He's able to raise them basically in the battle and environments, those kind of things. And you don't always have to hunt for well, eggs, meat, whatever, because he's got it already.
Yeah. Okay, that could be cool. So let's put animal handling in there as well. What's up, Vel? Yeah, we're making the battle chef class at the moment. We're homebrewing some stuff for the next hour and a bit, and then we'll be using some of your guys' ones that you want us to review, and we will take a look. The link doesn't seem to be working for me, I don't think, Morgan. So try that again, dude. Let's have a look here. So yeah, we've got those skills in there. Let me go back down to where I was looking before in this bardic stuff. So equipment is our next thing that we could deal with. I'm sure you guys in chat have plenty of ideas about some equipment that a battle chef might have. So what I tend to do is they have 3 or 4 different points, and you can have an A, B, or C, or an A, B. So you can choose between them. Let me look at that link for you, dude. Let me bring that up there. Oh, nice, yeah, different. Oh, yeah, Bonesaw. Oh, a Bonesaw battle chef would be sick. You're all good, man. You're all good. Let's think of some equipment. So first one is usually a weapon. So let's have like our first point to be some kind of weapon. So we could have a butcher's cleaver. So a butcher's cleaver maybe. B like a knife, like a some kind of small cutting knife, something like that.
Like a fillet knife.
Oh, okay. Like a...
If that's what you're thinking, like, for a dagger?
Yeah, like a dagger, and then third one could be like a bone saw, maybe? That could be interesting, to like, you know, carve through meat and bone and stuff like that. That could be cool.
They naturally have, like, cooking equipment, I assume, too.
Yeah, and we could just give them all sorts of cooking equipment around here. So yeah, the first 3 look like... first 3 look like optional ones, and the third one could be cooking equipment and utensils.
Right.
Cooking equipment, utensils, and maybe like enough food for certain amount of like spells or meals or stuff like we can define at a later point, I guess. Chocolate filled with love potion or poison randomly sprang to mind. Interesting. A leather apron working as leather armor. So that could work. So give them a bit of armor, maybe.
Or they could use the lid of a kettle as a shield.
That is true. Yeah.
A buckler shield, basically.
Let's give them armor proficiencies. We'll just give them light armor, so they can take like a leather.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably the American way. And then leather armor, maybe. Okay. Leather armor and just a normal dagger, and then the fillet knife or whatever could be better stats than your normal dagger, maybe.
Right.
So maybe D6 die rather than a D4. Let's put that in brackets. Yeah, only 6. And then the other one is they usually give you a pack of some kind. So whether or not that's you can usually choose between like Diplomat's pack or Entertainer's pack. Let's see what some of the other classes get access to. We don't want gnomes, no, because we can see what the other packs are. So it looks like barbarians they don't get a pack at all, actually. That's interesting. So we don't necessarily have to give them a pack, which is cool. I didn't know that all classes can get one. Let's see here for the druids. What do druids get? Druids don't get a pack either. Okay, maybe we don't have to give them a cap. There you go. The pack is cooking equipment and stuff, right? I guess that is true. Yeah. Okay. does have like chef's pack. We can make our own pack. Equipment, utensils, enough food for X days or X meals. We can define that at a later point. Also, I just realized, seeing as this is home brew and review, I am drinking a brew, which is Canadian Club whiskey. There you go. It's nice.
Wow.
It is from 1858, and Mitch got me this for my birthday. So, and he's from Canada. So, yeah, it's I do love that Canadian land. Call it a chef's pack. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
I have generic beers in the fridge. Just
Nice.
super generic.
That's what they're called. They're called generic beers.
Would it be possible to add a passive onto them? Like that they always, like the DM rolls them a some kind of spot sense right before they're about to eat something if said item is poisoned? Kind of like how rogues sometimes get that when it comes to traps, if they pass within 10 feet of them.
Oh, so you mean like some kind of ability where if they get poisoned, they can sense it?
No, before. Basically, if they're about to eat something that is poisoned, the DM automatically rolls a check for them. I don't know if it's in Pathfinder. Rogues have that with traps. If they walk within 10 feet of a trap, the DM automatically rolls perception, and if he succeeds, basically, rogues just like, oh shit, you know. They don't always have to be watching out for it. It's just a passive. It's a feat, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you have passives here as well.
We could have that as one of the like the paths. One of the paths could be if you're like if you're going down one of the routes.
The poisoner, basically.
Yeah, if you go down like one of those routes, you could have a innate ability to sense poison food. Yeah,
Right.
that's cool. Poison food. Okay, let's see what else we need to give this class here. Let's have a look. So we've got proficiencies, we've got saving throws, we've got skills, we've got equipment. So now we get into the nitty-gritty of things. So we need to figure out what our spell stuff is looking like, really.
Oh boy.
Let's go down here, because this is where it gets tricky. Where it gets tricky into actually balancing spells and balancing how many times you can use them. We need the brewer class to train to. Yeah, we do actually. Don't we?
Well, considering they have the ability to basically cast mass spells already at level 1 by making a slop, like they should have very little spells. Because usually, like Cure Light Wounds Mass is something you don't get to like level 12. Like all spells that affect multiple people at once are super high up.
Yeah.
So they should be up. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like they can make like one stew per day that feeds like 20 or something.
Yeah.
Or then they can like do like a few of these portions that they can focus on one person if he really needs it. But it should be very limited considering that slop is really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if it's level 1. So.
Okay, so what if we had like call it like the slop, once per day. If you have enough ingredients.
Right.
You can create the slop. And I guess we need to define how we're doing, how many people can you feed.
10 times your con modifier? Just straight up simple number?
Yeah, okay,
you know?
perfect.
And then you need, I don't know, just a pound of food per person kind of thing?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And that, of course, that's like the maximum amount of stew you can make. You can, of course, choose to do something less. Like, if you have if you have 16 con, so you can make a slot for 30 people, you can choose, like, I only need to make it for 10, so I need 10 pounds of food.
Yeah, okay. In fact, what we could do, we could even say, because it's magic, it could even be the case where he magics the food up so you don't have to keep a track of how much food you're carrying on you all the time, because that could potentially kind of like a bit kind of micro-y where every day...
Well, what if they don't... what if they don't actually have to keep the food on them? Alchemists and Pathfinder, whenever they want to basically make a potion, they just roll a survival check in the environment, and if they succeed, it's just, oh, you found enough in the environment. Simple as that. So every time they make a slop, they just roll a survival and say, yeah, you find enough scraps around you, some random potatoes, those kind of things, and the player just role plays it there. He's just like, oh, I scavenged, I found some wild potatoes. You know, they just make it up on the spot. And it's just a simple survival check. That way they don't have to keep track of all that in the inventory.
Yeah, alright. So how about you or one member of your party, if you're playing like a ranger maybe, and they might do the hunting and stuff, one member of your party rolls a survival check. What's that layer? RP check. Maybe you can choose to make the maximum slot for one person to double the effect of a flat person. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, you're on 1 minute party roll survival check. On a success, you find enough food to create a slop.
Right. Let's figure out the DC of that.
Yeah, I guess you could leave that up to the DM, but it could be your spell save DC. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Because the more people you're feeding, the higher DC should technically be.
You could either do it on that, or you could either do it on. I think the way you should probably do it is on like how easy it is to scavenge in that area. So it's up to the DM.
Just up to the DM, basically.
We could make it a table where it's like, okay, you're in the forest. It's an easy check. Easy is 10. Difficult is 15. Very hard, 20, that sort of thing. And we can
also, we can make it a chart with two directions. Basically, you have environments in one direction, and then how many people you need to feed in the others. Because if you're like in a desert and need to feed 10, that's going to be still a little bit easier than if you're in a desert and need to feed 40. So it should still be two different DCs. Like I can put a table in here if you want me to set that up.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I'll just put it right under here.
Sure, yeah. Maybe there could be the butcher archetype and the chef, or Michelin fine cuisine archetype. The first one is basically what we discussed: high yields for animals and foraging, proficiencies of butcher's tools. Whilst the other one is basically like the prison, strength buff, nerf food type one. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Maybe it could be called ... Okay, let me go in here. You can feel free to start writing in some ideas in that table whilst I have a think about this stuff.
Yeah.
On a success, you find enough food to create the slop. You feed 10 times your con modifier. And then, hey, what have I missed? Down Twitch, not giving me notifications. No, right, great. What we're doing is we're creating the Battle Chef class. We're creating a new class from scratch, and we're going all the way through it and creating it for the next about an hour and 10. And then we'll be reviewing your own homebrew classes or ones that we can find on the internet. We'll find some, we'll review them, we'll tell you if they're any good. Some ways to balance them, that sort of stuff, and we can have a good time going through them. So, in fact, if you want to get yours in already, you can send me an email to the command is homebrew. You can send me an email to contact@encounterroleplay.com, and I'll get to those emails ones first. They'll be our priority. Okay, so on a success, you find enough food to create the slop. You can feed 10 times your con modifier. Oops. What else could we put here? So, those who eat the slop gain... Okay, we could go similar to Bardic here. As in, maybe the other one could be called a Chef or Fine Cousins archetype, whilst the first one is the Butcher archetype. Okay, we'll think of some names then once we get to up to that level 3 area. We need to kind of work on these basics here, I think, first before we can do that. Otherwise, we'll get ahead of ourselves here. Those who eat the slop gain... Oh, nice. We need to think of the actual effect for the slop. What does the slop actually do, guys? Is it
Are we gonna have?
Can add to a skill check maybe throughout the day?
Yeah, are we gonna have like a list of it? It has different effects based on what you made it out of, or would that be way too complicated?
I think that'd be too complicated. I think the chef should be able to choose.
Right. Yeah, that seems pretty fair. Yeah, considering we're not even keeping track of ingredients. We're just doing the roll, and he basically succeeds at finding it. Okay, I made the chart down below if you think that seems fair. Basically, the amount of people by how valuable the environment you're in, how resourceful it is.
Perfect, yeah. Following effects even. So yeah, those who eat slop gain one of the following effects. So one, and we'll think of a few different options that we could have for the slop. Maybe the slop could give temporary HP. That's a good idea. So gain, because we can only do this once per day, and it's not definitely a success. So we want this to be fairly powerful, right? You want the slop to be fairly substantial because he can't really...
Fast healing 1?
I don't know what fast healing is in 5th edition.
Oh, okay. Fast healing, at least in Pathfinder 3.5, is basically if you have fast healing 1, you heal 1 HP per round, which is really good, naturally. I don't know if there is regeneration. Yeah. Like you could give like your fast healing your half your level if people eat the slop.
I think that
that's still really good though, but yeah.
Yeah, the way they tend to do it is they give temporary hit points
Right.
in spells, like P-Chat's suggesting that. I think maybe if we could have like a 1d10 temporary hit points, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a lot at level 1. 1d10 temporary hit points could like double. So maybe 1d8, something like that.
How would it increase as you level? Are we gonna make a
we'd
chart
have
for that?
we'd have to per level.
Yeah.
We'll
just have like a huge leveling chart, and then like every other level you get an extra D8 or something.
Yeah,
Something like that.
they tend to, so they do it like you could cast it at second level maybe, and then it's 2d8. If you
Right.
cast it at third level, once you're so 1d8 per battle chef level.
Right.
So for instance, you're a level 5 battle chef. You can take you can give them 5d8 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Could not work like bardic inspiration die just for the sake of simplicity, so a full belly would give them 4 d4 d6 20 roll. Yeah, that would work as well. I like the idea of there being a bit more option though. Gain 1d4 I don't know how it's worded towards any roll within the next 24 hours. Yeah. Okay. And then we could have maybe a third one. Maybe just keep it to 2 to keep it fairly simple, because you don't want to go too complicated with classes, I guess, because otherwise it just gets confusing for everyone. And I don't know if bardic inspiration levels or scales with level.
What about some kind of damage reduction or immunity or something? Like if you've eaten a slop, you're immune to being nauseated for the rest of the day, or you take less damage from fire. I don't know, something like that. So just not generic HP, because this is better, but you kind of have to predict what you're going to encounter that day. Like if you know you're against a spellcaster that tries to stun you, then you make a slop that gives +2 saves to stunning or those kind of things.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit more powerful in the temporary HP, but you have to know ahead of time what's coming.
Yeah, for Slop, add proficiency mod to con and with saving throws. That could be interesting. So yeah, give them the prof bonuses. They might already have. I like that idea of gain resistance to A, poison, B, fire.
Yeah, this is some elemental type, I guess.
And C, like lightning damage, maybe something like that.
Yep.
Let's thank Hamahakraka for following. Nailed that name. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for joining us, putting us one step closer on that road to 4,000. How's it going, Gareth? Good to see you, man.
It's so close.
So close. Hopefully we'll manage that today. That'd be awesome. So poison, fire, and lightning damage, let's say. That could be pretty cool for this battle chef that we're creating here. So on the hour, I remind you guys, if you are new, do follow the stream, hit that follow button, and join us. We're here 5 nights a week, 10 shows a week now, starting this new show. And we're here all the time, 24-hour D&D stream happening this Saturday, Pub Jam. So I am pretty excited for that. What's up, No Future UK? Hello again, adventurer. Welcome. I like the idea of a slop. I think the slop looks pretty well.
24-hour stream, that's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
man.
boy. So it's going to be tiring. I'm going to be dead on Sunday.
Good luck with that, man.
It's actually, now that I'm in the US, it's 7 a.m. start for me rather than midday because of the time difference. So
yeah, because technically, like, with us, if it's 24-hour stream, like, we've already been awake for like 7 hours when it starts,
Yeah. So let's see, what else can we have? So we've got the slop, and then, so is that just an ability or is that a spell? Because I think it should be a spell. Because if he knows 4 first level spells, then we also need to just create a list of spells that you can use. We'll do that later. Spells are boring. But so we've got spell the slop, which they all have, and that's one of his spells known. So maybe we have one other spell, and then we let him pick 2 other spells from a list of spells. just in the book that you can use, so you can have some versatility. Okay, what about another spell? And this could be like a poison thing. We'll call it some kind of poison thing. We'll find a better name for it than that. In fact, we should put this below the slot because that's
just food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Yeah.
I think that's literally what it is.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right, food poisoning. Perfect. Let's go down here. So, this can be a level 1 spell. The Slop. And then it also knows 2 cantrips. But we also wanted to have cast Purity of Food and Drink as a cantrip once per day. Maybe that's just an ability, and you can choose 2 cantrips on top of that. We'll have that as an extra.
I mean, is that really useful for him? Because that's if you find food you're not certain about. Like, this guy's gonna probably be making most of it.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
The only point is if he made poison food, and then he's like, oh shit, actually, never mind. I need this to be free of poisons. That's the only scenario I can see that being useful. Because his whole thing is that he can take rotten poison food and make good food out of it. He doesn't actually need to purify it first, as far as I understood.
That's true, yeah.
Because that's the point of it. You find a rotten elk, roadkill type thing, you can't eat it, then you have to purify it. This guy doesn't. Yeah. He's just no, it's gonna taste like crap, but you'll be fine.
Yeah. It will be edible.
Yeah.
I think healing spells would go well with Battle Chef. In my head, they would be more of a support character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good in large groups, obviously.
Yeah. So we had this idea of at level 3 you can take it like an archetype, and then we could go down a healer, more damage route, more buffy route. I think for first level stuff you need to keep it fairly kind of open, because we're going to give them also choice of 2 level. Let's put this as 2, so it's less confusing. 2 for level 1 spells, and we'll have from a list, so they can use a list. We'll make the list later because that will take forever.
It'll probably be very similar to the ranger spell list I picture.
Yeah, that might
probably.
Be true, yeah. So spell food poisoning. So
actually, hold on. Which cleric domains do you guys have? Because I do know there is a cleric domain for food. Literally, the spell list from that one could work quite nicely.
That could be cool.
But I don't know if that's a 5th edition. Again, I'll check that out.
Sure. So spell food poisoning, I'm thinking some kind of damage spell here. So, let's have target 1, I'm guessing. 1, just have single target. Range tends to be things like 60 feet in 5th edition. We could put it as 30 if we're feeling mean. Let's put it as 60 feet for now. We can change that around. 120 is the upper limit, really. Proficiency, kitchen knife. Yeah, we've got that stuff up in the proficiencies section. We also have this innate ability, which they have called butchery skills. They can apply their wisdom modifier to damage rolls used with knives. So it'd be a 1d4 plus your strength plus your wisdom on top of that, because they're not really dealing a lot of damage, these guys. They're mostly just buffing a lot. That would be terrible. Range 60 feet. So it could either be spellcasting attack roll. That was awful. Sorry about that, guys. That was Aaron's microphone doing something weird, I think.
Is it better?
That's better now.
Yeah, no, Windows 10 doesn't like the drivers of my Yeti microphone, so it just randomly decides, I'm just going to turn them off, and then that happens. But it happens once every 8 hours, so it should not happen again. Sorry about that. Gosh, damn.
In fact, all the golden stuff should be fixed by now. Sorry about that, guys. So, spellcasting attack roll on a success.
I just really hate headphone users, that's all. Got it out for you guys.
It's pretty painful for me, too. Target takes... What could they have for damage rolls here? 1d8 poison damage.
What if he can choose what stat to attack it on? He can make a slop that will attack either strength, dex, or con. And that way he's like, oh, I know we're going into a place like a barbarian camp, so I'm going to make something that goes against strength.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a hypocrite. Shut up.
Hypocrite confirmed. Let's think. So I think with the spells, I think it would probably be best because this is first level, right? The guy is new to the game.
Right. Yeah.
I think we could probably keep it simpler for now, and then maybe we could have that if he branches out into this route in level 3.
Like that's the poisoner thing. He starts attacking stats instead of just generic HP. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So on his test, target takes 1d8 poison damage and must make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. I assume so.
Cannot spell Constitution. There we go. Saving throw on a failure. Target. We give him a thing. What do you call it? Like a effect. Whether or that's like incapacitated. What effects can we have on this guy? So if you get poisoned by him, maybe disadvantage on the next attack roll, which is similar to. I don't even want that. And maybe some sort of thing where they're incapacitated. All this time I thought the picture on the first page of rogue class and the player handbook was of a guy. It's not. Oh really? That's on a failure, the target is blinded, incapacitated, proned, maybe like
sickened. I mean, there's literally a side effect, yeah. Because you gotta sleep on sickened, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. At the end of each of its turns, it can make another Constitution saving throw. If it succeeds, the effect ends.
Perfect. Let's use that effect. Sickened.
Yeah, that's taken from the... Because it's not a stat effect here, it's taken from the spell of... Yeah, I bite there, I saw. It has some stat effects. Because I know we have the Sickened in Pathfinder, and it does the exact same thing.
Okay, cool. Asterisks, yeah, links are allowed, dude. Don't worry about that. No point in stopping links and everything, so go ahead and drop in as many links you want.
Yep.
Throws 2 level 1 spells as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. So the target is sickened. Yeah, as long as they're like, as Gareth says, safe for work and so cleanish. Alright, that's cool.
So how does ranged work? Do you literally chuck a pork chop into an enemy's mouth?
How does what work, sorry?
The food poisoning being ranged. You literally just, like, throw something into their mouth?
That could be cool, yeah. You just,
so it's like... Because it goes as, like, range 60 feet, you know?
Or maybe it's even a thing where, like, you like, start it in their stomach. Like, you have control over, like, the food,
right.
Which is...
Yeah, because these guys, they're literally magical. They're more than just alchemical. They are magical, straight up, yeah.
Yeah. This will be faster forehead. Ellie giggle. So yeah, let's think here. So we've got those 2 spells that they get at first level.
Yeah.
They tend not to get much more than that at first level. So we need to have our like spell save DCs and stuff as well. We'll put out the top here. So
yeah.
Spell save DC.
It's usually 10 plus a stat plus your level or half your level.
Yeah, so 10 plus prof bonus.
Right.
Prof bonus. Plus your con modifier, I guess, because we're con-based, aren't we? Plus con-based. So it would be something like 12 plus 2 or 3. So yeah, like 15 or something. So it's quite a high spell save DC.
Right.
But we could have it as 8. Who knows? As the other thing of this as well is like we're gonna have to go through a lot of playtesting once we create a lot of these things to like figure out things which are like just totally broken, which we probably make. But that's the beauty of having a chat, so you guys play them and stuff as well, and you can let us know what you think is good and bad once you get to playing them and stuff like that. So we need also our spell attack modifier. Let's have a look here. Prof bonus plus con.
Where are you writing this?
Something like 5 or something like that. Perfect. Okay. Well, they need like a spellcasting focus. That could be like their ingredients, maybe. I'm not sure. Good night, little Sunrise.
See you later.
Get some sleep, dude. Good to see you, man. Let's think here. because sometimes like druids use like a druidic focus, or wizards will use an arcane focus to cast. Bards use their instruments to cast. Maybe like
spatula.
Spell. I guess yeah. I guess like it could be like an ingredients pouch.
Yeah.
Do like can use. So let's give that to in their equipment. Cooking equipment, chef's arcane focus.
I love it. I got this mental image of this just slightly fat, hairy guy. You know, he's not built for combat, but he still runs in the front of the trench. He's got like a kettle, like a lid for a pot, and a spatula. He's just hammering on that. You know, just shrieking insults at the enemies.
Yeah.
Definitely the barbarian type, but he's a little bit more sophisticated in it.
Yeah. We're not like creating a character. We'll use OgPub when it's finished, but I prefer a Google document to work in rather than something which has a limited amount of options, because it only has so many ideals and personality traits and stuff. We want to write those in ourselves and different stuff. OgPub is a good website though. Let's see here then. What else do we need to do? We've got our spellcasting DC and attack modifiers. So then we'll go on to stuff that you get at different levels, I suppose.
Yeah. Because the thing that could make them really unique is if they had the ability to put their spells into the slop, and they basically get the ability to cast mass spells a lot earlier than other classes.
That could be.
Because I don't think there's any other class in D&D that has that. Like, let's say he had a spell of cure disease, right? He had one use of that, so he puts it into a slop, everyone eats the slop, so everyone gets cure disease. We have to find a way to make it not super OP, but still it could be interesting that you can get, like, mass something well before level 12 or whatever it is required.
Yeah. How many,
It should probably be limited to a very few select amount of spells, because if not, it's overpowered as hell. If you can do, like, Cure Light Wounds in a slop and do that on 20 people, that's insane.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Battle Chef list. So, he needs Vicious Mockery amongst his tutors, but she's definitely needs Vicious Mockery. So let's think. Let's go on to, like, starting at second level. Everyone gets, like, an extra ability at second level to use.
Right.
Druids get Wild Shape. Let's see here. Clerics look like they get... I never play a cleric. You can use Channel Divinity. For 10 minutes, you have proficiency of a chosen skill or two. Yeah, so it tends to be like
Paladins get Lay on Hands at level 2, I think. Those kind of things.
Yeah. Maybe you can put a spell in the slot limited to a certain spell level that changes depending on level. Put a spell in the slot. So the thing with the slop is that your enemies aren't going to eat it. Only your friends are. It can, right?
Right.
It seems like. So I don't think we want the battle chef to be able to like cast attack spells on different people. I like the idea of being able to cast,
any spell with a target ally. Then you're immediately weeding out anything that's towards enemies, and then it's usually just buff and healing shit. So we could say like any spell from the cleric or ranger spell list that has ally, something like that.
Okay, that's interesting. Or we could create our own spell list. Yeah,
exactly.
Choosing from that battle chef list.
Exactly.
So on second level, you can cast, and we'll need to figure out some kind of drawback for this.
For the slop?
Maybe. For starting a second level, you can cast any spell. I mean, we might have to go any spell from the battle chef spell list.
Mm.
With the target ally.
I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
Last of the day. You can try to limit, like, you can do this an equal amount of times per week to your con modifier, something like that, to nerf it down.
Okay.
Just like, because I mean, we're already, you can max those once per day, because you make slop once a day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if making a spell that good is like every day is kind of OP, we might even have to nerf it down to a per week basis, kind of thing.
A week or something like that. Yeah. Once per week, maybe.
Yeah.
You can cast a spell with from the battle chef spell list with the target ally, and have its effect cast upon effect. Cast upon anyone or everyone who eats the slop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something
That's
like
cool.
that. Yeah.
Again, we'd have to like check the list so there's nothing like completely broken in there, but it could be cool. The slop exhausts 2 spell slots from the level of the spell put in.
Oh.
Spell slots from the level of the spell put in. That's interesting, yeah.
Actually, pretty simple. You can do this an equal amount of times per week to your level. That right there should keep it at a really nice curve.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's still pretty short. Maybe like half your level or something.
Okay, so,
Because mass is really good. Because if you can do it in equal times a week to half your level, that should keep it really balanced.
yeah, okay, so...
and of course it maxes out at 7 anyways, because you can only do this once per day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it stops at level 14, basically. No, not 14, because... yeah, no, 14. Level 14. Is
So
basically
you
where it
can
stops.
cast, yeah, which is when you're like completely OP anyway, so...
Exactly. And then, by the way, then you can do this once per day kind of thing, so...
Yeah, yeah. We need a name for the like mass slop, or we need a name for this like ability here.
Oh, hold on. I had something earlier.
So like magic broth, magic slop. You guys in chat usually got a good idea for this. So like when you cast the spell into the slop, what can we call this ability? Because we need a good name for it. And cast whatever we call it many times equal to half your level. Cool. Mass slop equals Kim Kardashian. Savage. Slopify spells. Slopify. That's sloppy. Whatever it is. There's a window here, get rid of natural lighting. Oh, it's beautiful and sunny outside here. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Soup of the day. That could be good. Soup of the day.
Soup of the day.
Soup of the day. Alright, people seem to be liking that one. Alright. Soup of the day. Perfect. We got this here. So yeah, I can cast Soup of the day. Let me copy this here. That's a great name. As many times equal to half your battle chef level.
Yeah. Did we have a name for the ability to roll survival to basically get ingredients?
No.
Because I figured we could just call it mystery meat.
Mystery meat. Okay, so what's that ability that we like an innate ability that they all have? We would call that mystery meat. What would be the wording on mystery meat? So you have like a level 1, just all battle chefs have that, right?
Right. Yeah, provided you succeed on a survival check, you can feed basically a certain amount of people, according to the chart down. I assume.
Oh, okay. So we call it. Okay, yeah. So we call.
Yeah, because the part I was marking, the one right here, what I'm marking right now. That's what I was talking about. If that is that just like the description? Or are we actually going to give that segment there an actual name, make it an ability? I don't know if we need to.
I think it's like part of the slop spell.
Okay,
but we
yeah.
could. I tell you what, we'll keep mystery meat and we'll put that as one of the abilities for like one of the paths or the archetypes down the.
Oh, okay.
Down at 3rd level. So yeah, we'll keep that. Let's do it. Mystery meat pie, special sauce, chef special. Chef's recommendation: you try to suggest someone try one of your poison foods. Wisdom save against the spell. Safety save cast to resist.
This could be a really cool class to actually fight against. Like you can have like druids and stuff. And they literally have like this cannibalistic chef, and then he has a mystery meat feat, and he can cook stew basically from enemies. It seems like a very interesting kind of enemy.
Yeah. I like the idea of like multi-classing with like different classes with the chef. So you've got like one level chef.
Rogue, for example, is obvious.
Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A paladin would be really good, because if you can cast any spell into the slot that has a target ally, paladins have lots of those.
That is true.
That is super good.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so you can cast Super Day as many times equal to half your battle chef level. That seems pretty cool.
Or bards. Bards also have a lot of ally targets.
It's true, actually, yeah. So, second level, I get Channel Divinity, ability score improvement. Yeah, so at fourth level, when do you get your archetype? Let me see up here. Choose one domain. Let me go back up to one of the more normal classes rather than Druid. Let's go into Druid here. So, at different levels, level 2 I get Wild Shape. Level 2 I get Druid Circle. I get improvements at 4th level. When do they choose their circles? It's usually at like level 3, right? I've been telling myself it's level 3, but I might be wrong.
No, I think that's pretty right. Most classes do get their defining trait between level 2 and 3. Pathfinder Rangers choose between melee range at level 3. Druids get Animal Companion, those kind of things. I mean, it's usually around there.
Yeah, heal in the Slop, everybody heals 70 HP, OP much, that'd be sweet. But it's not even that OP because it just hits you back up to max anyway. At level 1, like, healing 70 just brings you back up to your 10 hit points. You know,
right.
It's not that ridiculous. But also they can only cast it once a week. So it's like even less than the daily. Usually level 3 clerics are 1 druid to 2. Okay, we'll give it to this guy at level 3 then. So starting thanks like Alicia at 3rd level. So we need the you can choose a battle chef. What do they call them? Just paths? I can't remember what they call them, archetypes or paths in this. We'll call them archetypes. The chef archetype to specialize in. I guess you spell it the American way. Specialize in. So we had this idea of like the butcher. Focus on knives. I can't spell. Focus on knives. The idea of battle butcher knife based set of spells. Rare, sometimes fixed bleeding, medium rare, fireball. Well done. Maybe a cooking style of different spells. Okay, like cooking style. We'll think of a better name for that. Focus on spells. And
they're like very finesse, like just gourmet chef.
The gourmet chef.
Yeah, there you go. Like they you got the butcher who just he makes slop. The gourmet chef just he sprinkles the right herbs and he gets this perfect sous chef.
So focus on like buff spells. I guess we can have that one as sous chef support spells. Okay, so maybe so maybe the gourmet chef. I don't know. We've got the butcher, the gourmet chef, and we'll have one which is focus on damage spells, I guess. So I can go down a more attacky route.
No, that's the poisons, basically, right?
Yeah, so we need a name for like a poisoner sort of chef. Perfect class for Half-Orc, yeah.
For poisoner.
Like a chef who's a poisoner. A battle chef who poisons. I'm sure you guys can think of some names for that. I like the idea of having sous chef, but a sous chef. Maybe the gourmet is the poison, and the sous chef is the buff spells. Make it interesting. Corrupt chef, that's cool. Like corrupt chef is an idea. What's some other ones? Like the bad chef, the 1 star, the saucier. That's a thing, isn't it? If you're like or halfling, those poor little foes love good grub. That's why I always think of like a halfling like cook pot from back in like old Warhammer. There's like this big cooking pot model and it had these halflings on it. I like the idea of like a corrupt chef. Maybe not corrupt because that sense is evil. But like he always puts salmonella into your food. He's like can't be trusted kind of chef. The 1 star review chef, he's got terrible. The bad chef, the Swedish chef. I've watched him up. It's perfect. I assume the butcher would have privilege to butcher towards Matt's because I needed bone sauce. Yeah, exactly. I like the idea of like the saucier. We'll put that down. Unless we think of a better one, I don't know. The line cook, the barbecutioner. What's that one thing? The little chef. yeah. Bork. Man them up, it's so good. but let's we got those two. And then it's free even. The butcher, the gourmet chef, the saucier, the Yelp-hated chef.
We have to make sure that the butcher differs enough from a rogue that it's not, gonna be stepping on it kind of thing.
Yeah, got a shirt here. I'm getting cold in this roof. Yeah,
The little chef that could.
The chef that could. Man, they closed down like a bunch of little chefs near me. The Barbecutionist sounds like a bad 80s horror film. It's like a natural-born gorilla. like the guy who's like the dad at the barbecue, who's like really like focused on like cooking the meat, and he's like, I'm the man, I'm cooking the barbecue, like kind of guy.
Could be like the fermenter or something if they focus on rotten food.
Ooh, yeah, the fermenter, or the if it goes like sour. Called like when like milk goes sour. And stuff like that. I'm not sure what the word is, but anyway, we'll move on from the exact names, I guess. I think that should be the innate ability to sense poison food should be the saucier, to be able to detect brewer maybe. Barbarian battle chef gorilla. What do you think of brewer? It's like brews up different bad meals and stuff like that.
Actually, if we keep saucier, why don't we just give it like something else, like the sour saucier or the spoiled saucier or something.
The spoiler, something with blue cheese. What's that for? Sour saucier. Yeah. Or spoiled. No, I guess spoiled sounds a bit like he's a spoiled brat.
Sour saucier, yeah.
His milk brings all the orcs to the earth, indeed. They're going fun, Arjun. Good to see you, dude. All right then, let's keep thinking here. So let's go first with the butcher.
Yeah.
Because
thanks for the shout out, Scare. That's nice of you.
What a nice
or
guy.
Scarred, I think is 2 R's. That's a Scarred. Yeah, one R Scared, 2 R's Scarred. Got it. Scarred star.
Let's see what you tend to get as different class features at 3rd level. So 3rd level, you choose an archetype. So I'm looking at fighter here. So you get the battle master. You get different maneuvers from that.
I have an idea how we can differ it. Because if the gourmet chef is about buffing large amounts of people, the butcher could be about buffing himself.
Okay, yeah.
And that way he's not stepping too much on the toes of a rogue and not too much on the toes of a barbarian. Okay, he's not going to rage, he's not going to be sneaking, he's just like a generic fighter, he doesn't get the feats, but on the contrary, he can buff himself with his own stuff.
Okay, so he can buff himself. What about more weapon proficiencies?
Yeah, probably.
So, like, I cannot spell proficiencies for the life of me. Proficiency.
That's a difficult word. Consciousness is another one of my words that I hate.
Yeah, right. Conscience and consciousness. Those. Okay, so we've got proficiencies in martial weapons. I'll just go off it. There we go. So maybe getting the butcher's share. Ooh, yeah.
Man, this Scarred Star's gonna make me blush. First a shout out, and now he's commenting on the fucking way. Thank you, Scarred.
That's how he works his way in.
He flatters me, and it's too late.
And then bam, he's in your room looking over you. While you sleep. But extra attack at 5, yeah, okay. Get off the saucier here. Okay, yeah. At 5th level, extra attack. That's cool because not all classes get them, and that way we can give that to just the butcher, I guess, rather than the other classes, the other archetypes rather.
I mean, if we want him to not step on toes of barbarians and stuff, what we could do is say he gets a good deal of bonuses and buffs to himself, but if he's not well fed, he gets minuses instead.
That could be cool if you haven't.
Yeah, he can't have an empty stomach, basically, kind of thing.
If you haven't created the slop that day, maybe.
Yeah.
You get a negative. That's interesting.
I mean, he's almost addicted to his own brews, kind of thing. He has to have food, and somebody has to be on a buff. He gets minuses without it.
Has to keep devouring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurty jerky gives advantage to strength-based attacks for 1 hour on the butcher.
At least when I make classes, I try to make them very different from anything else because of that.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so you can gain proficiencies in martial weapons. That seems reasonable. To be able to use different different better weapons, different attacks and stuff. Let's think here. Yeah, you tend to get different. You don't get too much at 3rd level. It doesn't look like. So we can have another one at 5th, another one at like. Let's see. The fighter
How many
gets
paths do classes usually have?
3. Usually
3.
about 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember an Archetype from 3.5, which could have been cool. Which is basically this cannibal who basically he eats his enemies and gains abilities based on what they had, basically.
That could be interesting.
But that's pretty grim and dark. Like we already have 3 paths. I don't know if we can implement that. But
true. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But he would get like a bonus to he would get a +2 to stat. And basically, he'd get their racial modifiers to his stats for 1d6 hours or something. So if he killed someone with +2 con, +2, wisdom or whatever, then he'd get that to his own stats for d6 hours if he ate them. So,
yeah. Okay.
He was pretty interesting. It was a pretty dark class.
Yeah. Okay. The butcher gives 1d4 bleeding damage on a failed con check of attack succeed of a knife.
Ooh.
That could be interesting, like a con save, and starts doing repetitive bleeding damage. What's up, Charles? Good to see you, man. What's up, Diamond Dude, you guys? To slop or not to slop? That is the question. Slop till you drop. Damage bonus due to knowledge of anatomy from carving animals. That is cool. Maybe. Maybe have a power-up class with different power-ups from different games. That's cool. Hey, I probably won't be able to stay for a bunch because I'm multitasking here, clean the house back here. Good to see you, Blue Dalek. Thanks for coming along, dude. Good to see you, buddy, as always. Okay, so we have, you can have ability, like a new ability to buff himself. Proficiencies in martial weapons, and that's how you get a 3rd level. So you get this new ability to buff yourself. Proficiencies in martial weapons. At 5th level, you can get an extra attack. Something like 7th level, maybe. You get another thing, and then it looks like they kind of go all the way up to. This one's got. Actually, they've got quite a bunch in Monk. You get a bunch of different abilities. You get 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, 13th, 14th. I'm gonna go to like a paladin and see what kind of ones they seem to get.
Yeah. How you doing, Huggles?
Yeah, they get 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th, 11th, and 14th. Okay, so it seems to go up to about 14.
If I'm not mistaken, like fighter melee classes tend to get a little bit more stuff. Because while spellcasting classes usually just get more spells, and it's pretty like a simple chart, and that's just done with it.
Yeah, let's go on to Bard, and we'll compare that, shall we? Because that would be a good way of doing it. As soon as we're basing a fair amount on our Bard here, and we'll see what they tend to get. What's up, Free Hugwas? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mad Maxie says, sounds like a cool tribal headhunter class. That could be cool. That could be
about the cannibal eating people and getting their abilities?
Yeah, that would be sweet, yeah. That's cool. Well, I mean, we've got a bunch of different ideas for different classes and races and stuff to make, so feel free to keep throwing ideas and I'll put them up. Could the butcher able to feed himself from the enemy corpses? So he can take rations from them. That is cool, actually. He could, like, carve them up into different... Okay, so what about 7th level? You can carve up the corpses of your enemies. That could be sweet.
Not that he gets any stats, but he can just use them, basically.
Yeah, so no like statistics stuff, but you could use that for the slot, basically. So, you just rather than having to necessarily hunt, I guess that could be interesting. Because that comes at 7th level as well. So you've got 7 levels before you get anything that you can just usually do, I guess. So yeah, of course, Matt Maxie, I don't recognize his name, but we're on our road to 4,000, and we're very close to it. And the reason I shout you out, or kind of hunt you down, single you out here, is because we're so close to 4,000, and every person counts, so every number counts. So if you are new, then please do hit that follow button and join us. You do get a bunch of gold if you follow, and the ability to catch all of our 150 hours of D&D content every single month. So do join us. Let's see here. So yeah, bards get different stuff. Let's see, College of Law, they get 3rd level, 6th level, 14th level, so they don't get much, really.
Yeah, exactly. Spellcasting, it's very thinner.
So it looks 3rd, 6th, and 14th. But I guess because this is a bit more melee, I guess the Butcher is slightly more melee-based, isn't he? So we can have a few more than we might normally have. Whereas with the Gourmet, let's put 3, 6, 14 in brackets, and 3, 6, 14 tends to be like a fine basis to use.
Yeah.
Based on like the bard, different archetype levels and stuff.
And the Butcher would have like a little bit more, that would be like 3, I don't know, 3, 5, 9, you know, something like that. Just like it'll have like 4 or 5 steps instead because it's a melee based.
Okay, yeah. So
If that's how it's balanced, so from what I understood it, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. So 3, 5, 7, 10, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
The melee class seem to have much more. I'd go as far as saying different recipes give different spell buffs, a temp bonus to con. We've got a few ideas for that. Yeah, let's see what ARP.
We thought about doing it in the start, but we realized it would be kind of complicated because then you have to like kind of keep track of your ingredients and stuff.
Yeah.
Like what you have on you, and a lot of people find that tedious.
Yeah.
It's like we could put in like an alternate rule, and like if the player wants to actually and finds this interesting, then they can do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because not all people like that.
Maybe you can use meat from a 7th level ability in a slop to give racial bonuses to people who eat it. Whoever eats it has to make a con save because cannibalism or can gain no benefits. How about this? You can carve up course your enemies, gaining food, gaining enough food to use in the slop, and feed but yeah, gain enough food to use in. I mean, if you carve up a person or some kind of animal, there's going to be a lot of meat in a person.
Well, you know the chart we have earlier with the DCs. Say at 7th level, provided you have enemies around you, you just automatically get a +10 to that survival roll to pull off that chart above.
Yeah, so maybe enough to feed like 30 people or something like that, or 20.
Or the environment counts as 1 better.
Okay, yeah.
On the chart, because that changes all the DCs instantly for you. You just go down by 1.
Yeah, I think making it meat from different enemies is impossible to do. Actually,
yeah, exactly. Just if you have enemy meats around you, the environment counts as 1 better. And I'll just scroll up so people can see like this chart right here. Like if you're in a scarce environment and you're surrounded by enemies, well then that environment actually counts as the average, and you roll for those DCs instead.
How about if instead of that, we could have it where at a 7th level, because you're a pretty good character at this point, you can carve out the corpse of enemies, you gain enough food to use the slop, but there's a negative because you've used like raw ingredients that aren't like prepared very well. So maybe they're like he's just saying because it's like cannibalism, or you're just using like you just carved up a beholder, you're fucking eating a beholder at this point.
Yeah, right.
Then you get you have to roll a con save, like you were saying, and if you fail, a negative effect from the slop. But the idea being it's quick and easy because you've got these ingredients around instead of having to make a roll.
Right. Yeah. Because making the slop was like an hour-long ordeal, wasn't that?
Right. Yeah, it should take a while.
It was pretty hefty.
Yeah, but it could take longer than that. We could have it as a few hours. Maybe you have to take a long rest to do it.
Well, yeah, it was kind of thing. It was you always had to make it for breakfast kind of thing. You can do it once per day, so it was assumed you could do it for breakfast because you want to give them buffs throughout the day.
Yeah.
Not in the evening right before they go to sleep.
True. Yeah, that's true.
I
mean, I guess in terms the game, you could be because if you're cooking a big broth, it's probably you're going to leave that cooking on through the night, and you could have that for breakfast.
This giant slow cooker in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah, big old pot or something. So yeah. Okay, let's say for now, and we can come back to this as ever to rebalance and check and stuff. Enough food to use in the slop to feed 20 people. Let's just say for now.
Right, you don't even have to roll. You just automatically.
You just get it because slop would make a lot of sense during a long rest because otherwise you might be like, oh, I make a quick slop, and it doesn't really make any sense, does it? So duration could be. Once during a long rest. Once per day during a long rest. Because it's going to take, it takes a lot of time to cook up enough food for 20 to 30 people, right?
But how's that going to work with the chef? The chef kind of has to rest himself.
We'll think about that. Maybe the chef could just do it quicker.
Yeah. Or he needs an hour to prepare it, but he doesn't have to watch over it. After that, it just has to simmer for 7 hours, kind of thing.
That's
Something
what I'm thinking. You just have to do it at some point during the long rest.
Right. Yeah.
Because for a long rest, it means you're sitting down, making camp, and focusing on doing other things, I guess, rather than spending 8 hours actually making it. So you could sleep during the rest. You just have to be doing it during a long rest, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So, however, anyone that eats the slop. Must make a
sounds like a really bad horror film, The Slop.
The Slop.
The Return of the Slop. The slop too, the sloppening. You know, it's just the way you're like putting it like italic and everything.
Yeah.
It does. Like, however, anyone that eats the slop must make a con saving throw. It's.
Let's make a con saving throw, and then we could have have disadvantage on their next attack roll or next roll. Yeah. Give yourself a magical pot called a crock pot. That way you can have it simmer overnight. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, it's like a mixture of magic and cooking, isn't it? So it's like, you know, he sets the spell doing, and like his magic hand like turns the ladle for him whilst he's sleeping. That's the thing. So let's see here. Must make a con saving throw or have let's put this here, disadvantage on their next attack roll.
That's not harsh. It's like one attack, you know. It's just one.
Yeah,
roll.
it's only one attack, so it's not that bad. Yeah, exactly. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I think that way that stops like any like sudden slops being made. You know, like just before a battle. I like the idea like
accidental slops. Yeah.
Accidental slops. You don't want to.
Well, again, back to the thing. Like, this is a level 1, level 2 character able to cast mass spells. That's something you get at level 12. So this, I mean, naturally you should be able to do this like a limited times per week, which he already does. At level 1, you can do it once per week, and it's already going to take him 8 hours to even prepare that thing. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see here. So we've got a butcher. He gains the ability. This thing. So ability to buff himself. Let's have gain proficiency in martial weapons. Do we want to give him proficiencies in like heavier armor as well? Maybe. Kebab. No, that's matched.
Yeah. Doesn't that stuff usually limit him a little bit? I don't know. When it comes to spellcasting, because he's an arcane caster, he's gonna just give him proficiency in a buckler shield, so you can use like the lid of a kettle. Like that'll help him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that gives him like a buckler shield. What is that? +1 to AC, I think. Just very generic. I'm not sure how it works in 5th edition. Because that way we're not. Because I don't think buckler shield gives you -2 arcane spellcasting. I might be incorrect on that. It might have like a 5% or something.
Yeah, I don't think it does. It does anything in 5th. Yeah. So again, proficiencies in martial weapons. So yeah, at 3rd level. Let's see here. 3rd level, gain proficiencies in martial weapons, and then we need a name for this ability that he can use to what am I trying to think here? To buff himself. So what is this ability he can do to buff himself? Is the question.
Well, we've had concentrate spells on yourself, or that you can eat enemies and get their racial modifiers, or what else we have suggested?
I like that idea. I mean, because I guess eating them is a bit more of a cannibal thing. The butcher, the player might not necessarily want to be eating their enemies and stuff.
Right.
I like. We don't want to go straight down herky jerky. Straight down the barbarian route of getting like advantage on.
Well, what if he's able, like he said, he can prepare a slop for the day for like a crap ton of people, or he can choose to not make. He can make something for himself, like a really well prepared meal, and for the rest of the day he chooses one of his skills to get one of his stats. I mean, to get a D3 in or something like that.
Okay.
But so then he can't. It counts as one of his weekly slops, and he's not gonna be able to make anything for all the other people around him. It's literally like he makes like a gourmet meal for himself. And he chooses, like, I want to do strength, and then he, like, rolls a D3 or something like that, and then he gets some extra for the rest of the day.
Okay.
But that costs a lot, because if he's level 3, he can make 2 slops a week, and that's one of his 2 kind of thing. That's a pretty serious thing, so a D3 to a stat does sound like a lot, but I think it should be rather balanced.
Well, you can, let me see, I think you can make a slop per day, but you can't cast a mass spell per day. You have to cast a mass spell. So, yeah.
And this meal for himself should take, like, an hour to prepare. You know, there should also be a time investment in that, and and resource-wise, it should probably count as making a 10-man meal. It uses the same DCs. So.
Okay, that would work. Thanks so much to Cyber Shadow 269 for falling. Welcome to the event, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and we're
thank you.
4,000.
Oh my gosh, man, you're close.
Let's get some ERP shores for Cyber Shadow there. Butcher has anatomical precision and crits on the 19 or 20. That is exactly the same as like a fighter archetype there, right? The champion, I think. So we might not want to do that.
Should we call it like Midnight Snack?
You know, call this one. I was going to call it Not the Slop.
Not the Slop. Okay, yeah.
Well, that did it next sec as well. Let me write that down next to
No, it's something. If you went not slop, you go with that. That's fine.
Midnight snack. We'll put it down below.
Because I'm picturing if he's like in like he's like a mess chef kind of thing, and he's got like 10 soldiers around him. He's not gonna wake up in the morning and go, "No, guys, I'm gonna make something only for me." Like he'll wake up in the middle of the night and he'll make something for himself, and in the morning he'll be like, "No, guys, we're out of ingredients. Sorry, we're just gonna have to pull through the day." Like he can't. He's not gonna admit that to all of his soldiers around him. He's gonna sneak that in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. The self-slop. You gotta watch out for those self-slops, man. Alright, so not the slop. Instead of casting the slop, the the battle chef can instead cast not the slop.
Not the slop.
Which
Like special slop and those kind of things. Yeah, it's just...
yeah, not the slop.
Snack slop. Butcher now sounds like a douchebag eating all the food in the middle of the night. Well, yes, but he'd probably do it like at a moment that's needed. Like he'll be getting like +3 strength or something, and hopefully that will like save his ass the following day.
Yeah. Butcher now sounds like a douchebag, you know.
Well, a chef would have to know he's nothing without his well, teammates basically, because they've got nothing to come with. I mean, he's... Oh, we got another follow.
Oh, we do?
Canto Knight, thank you for the follow, man.
Hey, thanks. Thanks so much to Canto Knight. Welcome to the adventure. You're a gentle knight and a scholar. Thank you for joining us. To slop or not to slop? That is the question. That's true. Yeah.
And actually, that is kind of like a moral conundrum. It's like, should I make myself buff, or should I buff everyone else, kind of thing?
That is
What
true.
would be the most critical, kind of... Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of casting slop, the battle chef can instead cast not the slop. Not the slop has the same I don't want this in italic, sorry. We could just have it as a straight up spell, like
Right.
Is a
Just like an enchantment bonus to like a stat or something? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a straight up flat like bonus or something for that day maybe. So not slop. I maybe also give that anatomical precision, so he now crits on a 19 or 20. That could also work in there somehow. Not slop is a first level spell. In fact, no. Is a DC con saving throw. So like he has to succeed in the Constitution saving throw because like he's all these ingredients himself, and he's getting like the really like hard stuff in, whereas normally when
Concentrate,
like concentrate slot. DC con I don't know, DC 15 con to make it
even better. Like I was picturing like this chef who's like sneaky sexman. Like now I'm picturing like oh, he's gonna make a stew the following day with some chilies, and I has to sit there and like munch on like this little pot of like concentrated chilies, like weeping from the garlic and chili. It's like I need this, you know. This is for the better good, kind of thing. Just like there's just a shit ton of spices and salt in it.
Oh man, slop to drop. Yeah, he's just eating this like ghost pepper. Like,
yeah, because he'll probably take out like all the filler stuff, like the potatoes and stuff. Like he's keeping like the pure magical ingredients, and it's just like eating spices and herbs, basically.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. It's a one-stop slop shop.
Sad slop.
Sad slop.
Basically, it's basically the breakup slop, you know.
Yeah, the breakup slop. Post-breakup slop. Oh man. Makeup slop, angry slop. Oh man. That times DC 14 con saving throw. On a success, the butcher gains. And we need to think about exactly what he gains. Oops.
Yeah.
So it needs to be like fairly big, right? Because
it's a huge investment and it sacrifices the bonus to everything. That's what I was thinking, like a D3 to a stat or something really good.
Yeah. Let's see what the guys in chat think as well, because those guys usually got some good ideas. So guys, what do you think we can give to the butcher at third level? Instead of casting the slot where he can help all of his party, instead he can help himself with a buff. So what does he gain? We don't want to necessarily go down like the Barbarian of definitely just getting like an advantage on attack rolls, but bear in mind he is a like more melee-based character, although also having a spellcasting ability.
Because the Barbarian gets an advantage on 2 things, right? Strength and Con?
Strength and Con, yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, it's that, but you choose which 2 stats you want. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going to use this, and I've made it specifically so I want it to go on Dex and Intelligence for today, for whatever reason. Or Dex and Wisdom, because I know I'm up against will saves and something like that. So it's basically a rage on yourself. But that's a really good rage, because it lasts all day, and you can choose which 2 stats. So it should give a less of an advantage than a normal Barbarian's rage would have.
Okay, yeah, so similar to Barbarian's range, but different a bit. Don't slop me now. I'm having such a good stew.
I like the concept of him being able to choose what it affects, because he is making himself, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Chess Diver, what's up, guys? Talked to my players when we decided on D&D5E, so I'm running the Star Set Adventure. Glad to hear it, Chess Diver.
Nice.
Cool. So Chess came in last night, and as I was opening up this Star Set here, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Strength and Con.
That is awesome, Chess Diver. Good luck with that.
Yeah, best of luck, man. If you ever need any help, then feel free to ask us. We'll do our best to...
If I'm not mistaken, Chess Diver was in one of my DM streams like a Friday or something, talking to me about maps, so...
That's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you got into D&D, Chess Diver. Hopefully it works out for you. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Take it from people who do it like 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
We're kind of biased, a little bit biased.
A little bit. This is what we do. But if you ever have any questions, all of you guys can contact me at contact@encounterroleplay.com. Easiest way to reach me, or on Twitter.
This is the moment to spam them, guys, just with everything.
With
Real serious life questions too. Like I'm talking like really deep dark stuff. Come on.
Yeah. I've been to RPG since 2000. Nice, man. Okay, so on a success, the Butcher gains... I like that idea of gaining plus...
2 to proficiency, something?
That's really cool, because it really buffs you up all over then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it gives a +1 to all the mods of 2 stats of your choice. That could be cool as well.
Yeah. Because I like the idea that he can tweak this. He can, you know, mix it exactly to what he wants. Because that is kind of what you're doing. He's brewing, so he's like, okay, I know what I'm going to meet tomorrow. There's no point, you know, giving Slop to everyone else. I'm going to make something specific for myself. I'm going to need Dex. I'm going to need Intelligence. He's mixing this, you know. Instead of just like a generic, oh, you get an advantage on this and this, like he can actually fine-tune it a little bit, and that makes it seem like a very cool ability.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Let's go something like that. So the gains +1 to 2 ability scores of his choice.
If we did want to nerf it, what we could do is like you gain a +2 to 2 ability scores, but a -2 to 1. You get to choose all 3, because that way we can make it as good as a rage, but it's going to nerf him as well.
Yeah.
If a +1 is too minor of a change, no. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Because or what you could do is you're going to succeed anyways, but if you fail the con save, then you get the -2 to 1 stat, and you choose which stat to do it on. But if you succeed, you don't get the minus, then you only get the pluses.
Okay, yeah, I like that idea. So on a that's cool.
Because he never wastes a Slop. He'll always get something out of it, basically.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so we'll copy that. Gains 2 ability choice, but a -2 to 1 score.
Yeah, so he gets to choose everything. Like he knows exactly how he mixed this in correctly, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and edit these to 2s then. There you go.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that works.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, he made something very powerful, but he's like, okay, I know exactly how to make this good, but it's gonna basically harm me as well. So it's a poison as well, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of very interesting. He's like, nah, this is gonna hurt me, but I still need it, you know?
Yeah, let's think. +1 is not mine, especially in 5e with little bonuses. That's true. That is true. But the thing being, I guess, with a +2, then you can definitely get an extra +1 to like your attack or something. Whereas with a +1, it doesn't necessarily set you over the border of those 12 to 14. 15,
and you go to 13, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess with a +2, you definitely get that. So that is a balance point we could also think about. That's a good point. But I think with that would probably work. So 2 different,
yeah, just so you don't stack it up, and the minus should probably also be a different one, I assume.
Yeah, to
because if not, you can just you got +2, -1. You can just negate one, so in total you end up with a +2 on one. So they all have to be unique, basically, from each other.
Yeah. So at the 5th level, gain an extra attack. 7th level, you can carve them up, but it can be bad for your health and the health of those who eat your slop. Is this a class or race? Is a class, Just Diver. Yeah. So we've got to decide: can that 2 bonus go over the max of 20? There is. You can go over 20, can you not? Yeah, the max is 30. Yeah, the max is 30 and right. So yeah, it shouldn't be able to go over the top of 30, but I think because that's maxed out anyway.
By the time you're up there, you're just you might as well not even roll, basically.
Yeah, by that point, yeah.
So.
Yeah. The most important balancing stuff is at
between level 1 and 10.
I guess. Really,
yeah. This is a class or race. I mean, it's a class, but it's also the entire embodiment of orc culture.
True,
this is orc culture summarized into one single class.
It's true, yeah. It'd be interesting, different.
Or goblin.
Yeah, or goblin or halfling. Halflings have cooking culture, don't they?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole feasting on your enemies type of thing. Yeah, that's very orcish, very goblin, very cobble. They're very savage ones.
Well, I'm looking forward to, in November, I think they're releasing a new monster manual where you can play goblins and orcs, and finally releasing
Oh, you can't do that already? Oh, that's a shame.
No, you can't, no. So one of the things that we'll probably be doing in one of these later weeks is making our own ones, and then we can compare them to what they do in November. So we'll see which we think.
Are they adding kobolds to that?
They definitely confirmed orcs, goblins, and one other. I don't remember if that's kobolds, but yeah.
Oh, man.
Look pretty cool. Okay, so at 7th level, we can carve out the corpses. At 10th level, we need to give them something badass to be able to do. So let's think of some more things. So we've got 3, 5, 7, and 10, and then 14 being our final one. So half orc, all goblin, kobolds, halflings, and battle chefs to get an extra bonus. I guess the way that works is by the different racial modifiers that you get.
Because they're already really good. They have the con bonuses you want for this class.
Exactly, yeah. So if you're in next, it's where you can go. Whereas an elf battle chef isn't going to be as statistically good. It would be pretty cool because they're enchanting and magic stuff, but yeah, not as.
You wouldn't go butcher. You'd go sous chef or something, for example.
Sous chef,
if you are min-maxing that.
Yeah, saucier or gourmet chef maybe. Yeah. Okay, so we need to think of an ability of 10th level I can do. A goblin butcher would be an awesome character, leaving the caves to experience flavors out in the world, quite happy to carve out the corpses of fallen enemies, found occasionally tasting fellow adventurers as they sleep. What about lizardmen? Lizardmen might be playable, maybe they will. But I don't
That's
think
kobolds.
Yeah.
I do have an idea for a powerful slop.
Yeah.
Because right now, you wake up, you make the slop in the morning, or you make it in the evening kind of thing, and you eat it in the morning because you want to give them a buff throughout the day.
It's the slop.
Yeah, that's also really good. I was thinking, what if we have a slop that you make, basically what it does is it heals everyone full during a rest. That slop you would make in the evening, and you basically, you're negating, you're foregoing the, I'm going to buff you all day, because what I'm going to do instead is that as soon as it's evening we rest, we're all going to be fully healed again kind of thing.
That could be interesting.
If you don't have, a paladin or something to heal you during the evening, you don't regenerate enough during the night. But you have to forego the buff all day, basically, for it.
Yeah, okay, that could
It's like a trade-off.
Maybe that could be the gourmet chef one, if he's going more down to focus on buff spells.
Oh yeah, right, we're doing the path, so yeah, of course, that was just an idea I had. Yeah, probably gourmet chef, yeah, the level 7 gourmet chef.
Yeah.
So, because it is a trade-off, so.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, level 7 ability.
Goal is become master chef. Battle Chef Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, yeah. What's up, Sue? Good to see you. It's been a while. How you doing?
Hey, Sue.
Yeah.
She draws the cutest pictures. I love it. Yeah, I did a DM stream where I was doing lots of making a campaign, and she sending me sketches of all the NPCs I was coming up with, and they were just adorable as fuck. I had these 2 twins that basically the players were gonna find and then fail to save, and they were gonna be murdered. And it was just oh, this was a good plot point. And then she drew the images of the 2 twins. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Because they were just adorable.
Goblin Ramsay as well. Oh my god. They're doing too well, so well. Hopefully we can cheer up a bit here. Making up a new battle chef class for D&D. Alright, so let's think of 10th level. For a butcher, he's got extra attacks. He's got these, cleavers that he can use. He can buff himself really hard. Maybe some kind of regeneration on self. Kind of like self-heal or self-regen that he can do whilst in battle. Maybe similar to a barbarian, like resistances.
That's a lot. As long as he's well fed, he regenerates. If he's not fed, he doesn't. He gets a minus, something like that.
That could be cool.
Also, if you're a female orc battle chef, it is mandatory to have a hairnet.
Mandatory, yeah. So at 10th level, you gain the ability to be healed from the slop and not the slop. So we could have it so if you have eaten.
Oh, that's pretty. Like, because until level 14, you cannot use slop every single day. So what it means is basically you have to choose days throughout the week where you're going to actually have a minus because you haven't eaten properly. That's a really nice, like, the player has to think really strategically about that, because they're going to have to choose some days where they get the regen and some days where they get the opposite of it.
Nice, nice. Ing versus game. Ing versus who we're playing? I don't know who we're playing, but we're terrible. But come on. Come on, England. England. Get fire spells based on chili peppers, yeah. As long as it's belly full, gain regen 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically that.
If food from either spell within the past 24 hours, you gain.
Yeah, we are, Robin.
Regeneration 1, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fallen X. So yeah. For either spell, for 24 hours, for a 24-hour period after you've eaten it, for a 24-hour stream. No. After you eat. That works. Are you guys making classes? Yeah, we are. We're making the Battle Chef class right now. It's pretty fun. We're currently doing different archetypes. The first of which is the Butcher, who's all cleavers and everything, and the second of which we're going to be doing some other ones in here. But actually, seeing as we're on the hour, I remind you guys, if you are new, do hit that follow button and join us. We're so close to 4,000 now, we can almost taste it. So if you are new, then do join us and hit that follow button for all the D&D that we do here every single day. Also, seeing as we're 2 hours in, we are going to start reviewing some of your homebrew ideas and classes and stuff like that. So if you guys have any homebrew classes that you want us to check out, either that you've made your own or you've just found on the internet and you'd like us to review, drop links in chat. We'll go ahead. We'll Aaron pull them up onto the screen so we can look through them together, and we'll tell you some tweaks and changes that we would make to those different classes, races, backgrounds, whatever. Throw out your different classes and stuff, and we can continue to write more of the Butcher stuff whilst we're doing this. So
yeah,
if you're...
and we also, like, this is like a permanent Monday edition thing, isn't it? As far as I've understood
exactly,
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if we don't finish this time, we've got next Monday as well.
Exactly, we're here every week doing this
yeah,
now. So. Yeah, I imagine the Butcher as the man-eater from the Warhammer Fantasy ones. I used to play the ogres when I was younger. I had a bunch of models somewhere. Can I help? Also, a butcher... how about a butcher being an animal that is normally butchered as... I don't know, that would be interesting. But we did think of the idea of them having some kind of pet at some point.
Like the ability to like raise pets and stuff.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
That was kind of negated really quickly with the fact that they can like eat enemies and all that with the Butcher's ability. And then they're like very much stepping into ranger territory with the skills, so like might be better to just drop it.
But I do like that idea.
Yeah.
So we've got another 14th level thing to do as well, actually. So
like the final,
the ulti for the Butcher here. We need to have something which he does, which is just badass, because usually they're pretty cool. Different abilities that they gain at 14th level. I mean, you're pretty overpowered at this point already, right? So you can go pretty hard. Let's see. Wizards get stuff like 14th level when he creates like you summon or create a conjuration spell has 30 temporary hit points. That's a huge buff on any summoning stuff that you do. Another one is you roll 3 d20s for your portent feature rather than 2 if you get greater portent. There's a bunch of cool different stuff.
And we got a follow from Slade.
Welcome, Slade, to the adventure and a bunch of numbers. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. I'll read them all out. 46262265. Welcome to the adventure. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for joining us today on our road to 4,000.
Wait.
Really good butcher proficiencies, soy.
I had an idea for 14th level. It probably fits better for the sour soy chef thing. The sauce chef.
Throw it in anyway, because we can...
Well, like if you were saying, like, you know, the 14th level is supposed to be really good, and you were saying, like, the poisoner has the ability to basically affect food in other people's stomach, literally anyone in his vision is fatigued. They just count as if not had even eaten anything. Any enemy that comes within the sight is just instantly starving, like, keels over kind of thing.
Well, that is cool. That could be cool. It's like creates famine within them.
Basically, yeah, he's just starvation instantly around him.
That's cool. What's that more good to see, man? It's like any so
anyone that fails a con save against his con probably is fatigued, basically starved. So
yeah, begins to starve. We'll figure out that mechanic later as we go down. Or maybe next show. Begins to starve. Okay. Let's think here. Slop steak. In a short rest, the butcher can curb a steak to give X amount of temporary hit points. I think, like, for 14th level, we can even go harder than that. You know, we can even go more hard.
Yeah.
So let's think. So he's got this awesome ability in the slot. Maybe it's like now he can gain +4 to do different ability scores and -4 to 1 if he fails. Maybe something like that. So you can go harder into that stuff because what I was looking at on the different ones is like the different ones you get is you gain extra dice to abilities that you already have. Sometimes rather than making new abilities altogether. So sometimes what they'll do is, like with the Wizards one, rather than rolling 1d20 on your portents, you now roll 3 d20s. So it could be just a big buff to your, what do we call the, not the slop spell. So that could be interesting.
And for the spellcaster, the buffer one, we should basically have level 14 be, you just insta-slop, like just improvised meal. You just right there on the battlefield, all your teammates are about to be wiped, so you just throw down a kettle and instantly make something kind of thing. Like, it takes you 1 minute or something. Yeah.
I love that. Alright, let's put the 14th level.
Butcher is difficult.
Part of this idea is like a +4, you know, something like that, you know, something ridiculously spooky, and then -4 in another one, because then they get really tough, you know?
Yeah.
And then if you buff your constitution, like your spell stuff goes up, as well as your hit points.
Oh, shit.
So you can get pretty tanky, as well as, like, you know, damagey, you know?
Right, yeah.
Because then they're tanking and they're doing a lot of damage, so that's, you know, like, they become like barbarians, almost, you know.
Basically, yeah.
They're like barbarians, but you have to prepare for it, so I think, like, the play style, what you're going for, the battle chef, is like, you have to be prepared for a battle. Like, if you're surprised as a battle chef, well, you don't have your slop ready, and, like, you don't have a bunch of spells ready and stuff like that. Like, your buffs aren't in place.
They, like, they have to, like, prepare attacks and buffs, like wizards have to prepare spells. It's really weird. But it's actually kind of cool, you know?
Yeah. You bring this in there. Yeah, so, I find that's quite cool. So a skill for days. Yes, it does. Sweet. So we got that at +4 14th level. Okay, then. So let's go on to the Gourmet Chef. So the Gourmet Chef, we said, was going to be focusing on buff spells. So he gets different abilities for this archetype at level 3, 6, and 14. So he doesn't get many at all in comparison to a more melee one. So 3, 6. So at level 3...
And we already have the 14s for both of them, don't we?
Yeah, we have...
Sour Saucier was the starvation, and Gourmet Chef was the insta-emergency slop or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. Number 1 senpai. Like a barbarian, but with brain cells. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
There are barbarian players in this chat who will take offense that you don't have to be barbaric stupid.
What's your alignment? Barbaric stupid. Okay, so level 3 we need an ability. Level 6 we have this idea of, like, healing your slop, the slop heals all who eat it to their max HP. Sweet. The sloppy. No, there we go. Okay. In fact, we don't need the slop. There we go. So level 6, that's what can happen. we need like a name for that ability, I guess, for healing all the way back up. Tasty Slop.
Because like that's like you'd have to use that in the evening, or you can use that any time.
I guess that's just all of your slops. All of your slops. That's such a horrible sentence and word. Like slop.
It's not a pretty word at all. It really is.
But yeah, I think that heals anything at all.
It still requires an 8-hour investment. That's why the Insta-Slop is so good.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because the Insta-Slop is basically a team revive. If they can reach the pot, they live.
You can do it. You can do it once per day, and you have to be taking a long rest.
Yeah,
To do this as mass, you have to do that like once per week, basically. So
yeah.
But I mean,
so the Insta-Slop with that is really good.
Yeah, that's basically like that level 6 ability is so good because it's basically heal in Soup of the Day. Because that level 2 ability where you can mass cast it, if you cast heal into that, then you could heal everyone back up to max once per week. But now you can do it just basically whenever. You do like a slop now because you're the buffing class. Healing hash browns, damn good grub. That's a good idea. Damn good grub. That's what we should call this one. Level 6, damn good grub. Perfect.
We couldn't just like go like super hipsters, call it like a cleanse.
A cleanse. The purify. I think cleanse is already a spell. That might be getting confused.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah.
No, I mean like the actual terminology that's going around nowadays. People are like, no, I'm on a lemon cleanse. I only eat lemon things.
Right now.
Yeah.
Just a question: how do you do a writer's block when you're trying to cut out a story for your games? Using different inspiration, like take inspiration from all different sources. So like books that I read, films that I watch, I just steal from everywhere basically. So if you've got a film that you watch, just change it into a game maybe, or like a scene for a film that you watch, and change it into your own world. Then your players won't even notice.
No.
You know, for the part that it's that scene.
A good tip on that: go read a book or watch a film, and then try to describe what's happening from one of like the background character's perspective.
Yeah,
that usually helps me get a lot of ideas because you start looking at it in a really abstract way.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's
you'll basically be seeing it from the player's point of view, and you can write things a little bit better. So.
The lemon cleanse.
Just say.
Lemon cleanse. Okay, so we need a level 3. Like so, before for level 3, the butcher gained proficiency in martial weapons, and also could cast this new ability which could buff him lots because he's not going to get anything else until level 6, right? So. So basically, it needs to be some kind of cool ability which you can have, which buffs somehow, which buffs a lot of people, or focus on something that buffs.
Something that severely lowers the DC of making a slop or something? Because he is a gourmet chef?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like the butcher has the best buffs, it seems. The gourmet chef should have the easiest time making the slops, have very little risk of failing that.
Okay, yeah.
I guess.
How about they just succeed on slops? They don't need to make rolls. You just succeed on the slop. Is that too overpowered?
No, I think that's pretty. Like, unless the DM says it's an absolutely barren environment, you should automatically succeed.
Yeah. Okay, I like that because, like, you know,
like unless you're in like you've been like in the bottom of a sterile dungeon crypt for a week, like you don't even see moss on the walls, then the DM might have you roll.
Yeah. Yeah. You have the ability to create the slop. Automatically.
Yeah, still takes a time, just...
Yeah.
You don't risk the failing. You automatically find the ingredients in the environment, no matter what.
Yeah. With an automatic success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Success. That works well for me.
Yeah.
Let's create an automatic success. Low the time... Not thought. The... Good lord. The time requirement does not change.
Yeah. And of course the DM should be able to say that, like...
Yeah.
Like if you're in like a prison cell, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if you don't have your cooking equipment.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Did someone say chef? Let me have a look. That's cool.
It's a cobalt battle chef, that's what I'm liking.
Nice. How about gobbler instead of a slob? Not ideal since also bird, but less negative. I'm confused. What's that? The Uber Slop, easy slopper automatically succeeds in a check to make the slop. So Uber Slop.
The non-sloppy slop?
Sloppy Slop. The Uber Slop or the Gourmet Slop? I guess the Gourmet Slop will work because we're with the Gourmet Chef. So level 3, Gourmet Slop. Perfect. Level 6, you get the damn good grub.
Doesn't make it sound any better.
No. Level 14, you get the Insta Slop. Is that what should we call it? We're going to call it Insta Slop.
Insta Slop.
1 second slop, 1 stop slop. We should call it the 1 stop slop. I think
The 1 stop slop.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound like Dr. Seuss. Yeah.
1 stop slop. Sloppy slop. Yeah. I guess.
It's like a TV dinner slop type of thing, microwavable slop. Just add water and you're good to
go. Can now be cast as an immediate.
Instead of 8 hours, you go to an immediate action.
Like an instantaneous action.
Right.
It just
that's good because you don't have to roll to succeed and it happens instantly. So you just wham slop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there.
Yeah, literally. Because at level 3, you don't have to roll anymore. You just need to have like be in the area and do it. And now level 14,
basically slop heals all you can. It should still take. I assume it's still. You can only do so many times a week.
Yeah.
And max of once per day. But like still, it's an instant party heal if they can all reach the kettle before they die.
Yeah.
You have my bow and my sword and my slop.
My slop. Oh man. Meatloaf gives armor buff. I was thinking it would just be like the bard Meatloaf. Come see a local battle chef. He's a one-stop slop shop. Slop not guaranteed. Terms and conditions apply. Battle chefs are not responsible for any and all ill effects of slop.
TV commercial. Side effects of slop may include, and then just braces by this huge list of side effects.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Headaches, tumors, cancer, involuntary pregnancy. Just a huge list of side effects that can come from it.
That's so good.
Ask your doctor if slop is right for you.
Alright then. Yeah. If you experience these symptoms for more than 4 hours after you take the slop, 40% of sloppers over 40 experience erectile dysfunctions. Let's see here. So we've got level 14. Let's go on to the sour saucier one. So let's have the butcher like this. We'll have the gourmet chef here. And we'll have.
When you crit fail the slop con save, roll on the wild magic table. That's nasty because that's going to go on literally everybody who eats the slop. It's a massive wild magic table roll.
Oh, that would be so good, though.
You have an entire army that just instantly something happens. They all polymorph into bears or some bullshit. It's just.
That would be so dangerous if you did it to a whole army. I kind of like that side effect. That could be interesting.
It's an unexpected effect of the combination of ingredients type of thing.
Yeah. Oh god, that'd be awful.
Because this is part alchemy, part they actually take ingredients and make a potion. They just make a really big potion.
Yeah, that is true. Actually,
I like that. We need to add magic tables to that somehow.
Yeah, we could add. We could add our own magic table to it, rather than like the wild magic table, which could turn everyone into Pegasus.
The grog of whimsy is pretty good for that already.
Yeah.
A lot of it is very alchemical stuff, mostly cosmetic things that shouldn't really affect the game too much. So just affect roleplay.
We'll put like on a crit fail roll on the slop miscast table or something.
Right. That's why the gourmet chef is so good because it doesn't risk those crit fails, does it? Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Because when you're a gourmet chef, you never crit fail, which is pretty cool.
Right.
So the saucier we had.
Just say that those wanted posters are amazing. Thank you, Firefly. You're too nice.
Awesome.
No, I'm glad people like it though.
I laughed this morning when I saw it. Level 6, we need another name for that one. So we've got level 3, you gain the innate ability to do something, to sense poison food.
That seems kind of weak compared to the other level 3s, so that's the thing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in the same slot as gaining extra proficiencies, like the butcher does.
Yeah.
So you gain that, and then also gain an ability. So, so you gain that, and then you also get some kind of.
I have it. Okay.
Sure.
What if the sour saucier can eat poisons willfully, and if he succeeds on the con save, he can now make said poison? He doesn't suffer the effects from it. He eats, and he's like, "Oh, that's what it does. I can feel it in my kidneys. I know how to. I can make this now." And he can basically make any poison he's ever eaten and survived.
Fuck, that could be interesting because he has resistance to poison. So
Literally, yeah. So he's got a pretty high chance. Like, it won't happen. He might fail sometime, but that could be really cool. Like, he's struck with like a Dro's arrow, and he's like, "Oh, sleeping potion. Ah, it doesn't work on me, but now I can brew this." And that could be really good if you're combined with a ranger who wants to poison his arrow tips, those kind of things.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
But he has to try it. That's the thing.
So he has to eat it.
We have to call that ability "give it a taste."
That's cool. Yeah.
Or taste it before you toss it, or whatever that saying is that parents tell their kids. You have to try it before you bash it or.
Yeah. So we could call that one like proofs in the pudding or something like that. What's the saying? Like the proof is in the pudding.
I'm not sure.
He has to like try it before he.
Yeah, my mother always said you had to try it before you trash it.
Try it before you trash it. We call that or.
But I know it's like that varies depending on like families and stuff. I don't know what's like the most common way of saying that.
Yeah. Okay, let's
give it a taste. Something like that. Or proof isn't in the pudding. Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding. We'll call it that.
So this guy is literally going to be trying poisons on purpose then.
All the time.
That's really cool though.
Yeah. So whenever the sour saucier
has to roll against the poison and succeeds.
Yeah.
Either willfully or against his will. Like if he's poisoned against his knowledge but he succeeds, he just suddenly goes, "Oh, my kidney hurts. I know what did that."
I know what to tell you. Roll against a poison of any kind. And succeeds. And I have advantage on that. I'll put that in brackets just so I remember.
Yeah.
Any kind and succeeds. We call it a no thank you. Chef suggestion: target makes wisdom saving throw against caster spell DC. On a fail, target eats, drinks, target food or drink of choice as affected by suggestion. That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could try this. Yeah. That could be a level 6 one maybe. Third level, proofs in the pudding. Any kind succeeds. The sour saucier now knows how to create that poison.
Yeah. Of course, the DC to create said poison or something that's gonna have to be kind of up to the DM, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of really good. Like if there's bitten by a Hydra at level 2, he's just I know how to do this now. Which would be really insane, because Hydra poison costs 2,000 gold per flask, so the DM would be like, okay, you succeeded in the poison, but you have to roll a DC 30 to not,
That would be so funny.
Not only do you have...
to bite me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the DM, it has to be whenever you succeed against the poison, by such an amount, if you understand what I mean. More than 10 or something like that, then you learn it. Just to prevent that they learn something really powerful at level 1 or 2 or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to do that, if they succeed by more than 10 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I love this class.
I know, it's so good, isn't it?
Did you come up with the battle chef, or did someone suggest that to you?
The what, sorry?
The battle chef.
Yeah, we came up with it. No, I think we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and someone suggested it. I don't remember who now, but someone had a good idea. Can't claim it as my own.
Okay. That was a good idea.
The persuasion if you cook the target a meal, or intimidate if you want to poison. That's cool. I like the idea of chef's suggestion.
Yeah.
Copy that out. I think it's really good, actually.
Alluring smell, it just smells so good.
Yeah. So let's have chef suggestion there, and I'll make this all normal stuff. Okay.
Call it tease appetite or something, Inflict appetite, I'm not sure how you'd word that.
Yeah,
Say or chef's suggestion, yeah, literally, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Okay, let's have that. Let's go share suggestion. Target makes whiz save against cast spell DC. On a fail, target eats drinks the food drink of your choice if affected by suggestion.
Yeah.
So this could be like a
that's so powerful. He can know any poison and he can try to feed it to people. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he takes the Hydra poison. He succeeds.
But here's my question:
makes that poison.
Does he have to actually be talking to the guy, or can he just make a sandwich and then just put it on a log and then just walk away? And like when the enemy comes through, because he knows the scout's gonna be there, the scout's gonna look at it and he has to roll a will save to not eat it. He doesn't even have to interact with the guy. He's just like, oh yeah, I know. You put it right next to like the outhouse or something, you know.
The way to do that. What's up, McLovin? How's it going, man? See you in a bit. The way we could like balance that a bit would to make it a touch spell, so he has to like suggest to them,
Right.
rather than making it like a ranged one, maybe. Because if you range it, it could be quite overpowered. I don't know. Or make
well, no, because the food has to be at the guy. You know, you have to have the food right next to the guy, but you don't have to be near him to make him eat said food. But like these guys, they don't want to be near other people because they don't have the fighting capabilities to fight that off. They still have to sneak there, put the food there, and then go back, and then do the will save.
Is this a cantrip? Is it a first level spell?
I don't know.
Too many.
Just the life tip: don't eat sandwiches you find near the outhouse. Well, like
Right, yeah.
these are soldiers like out in trenches stuff. They're starved. If you find a beautiful, like a giant sub, just right there on a plate, just full of like fresh meat and lettuce, little toothpicks with olives in it, and the only thing you've eaten for like a week is just like rotten, muesli bars. How are you gonna withstand that?
Rotten muesli bars. That's what they hand out in the army.
like just any man's gonna be just starved out of his mind. They're not even gonna contemplate it.
Target that can hear you in 30 feet. That would work.
Target that can smell the food.
I can smell the food. Yeah.
There you go. So like they have to be within 30 feet of the food, basically. As soon as they go within 30 feet, they have to do a will save to not eat it.
Yeah. Make a wisdom save spell against cast spell DC. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
So, that's literally like the cold cartoon thing. Dude's just walking and then you have like the wisp of smoke from a pie that just comes out and it's just like, hey, this little finger thing, Come on, it gets him over to the window.
What's that scene in Harry Potter I'm thinking of where like the Crab and Goyle, they go over to like the cupcakes and then they fall asleep and then they them. Yeah. That's funny.
Suggestion.
I want food companions, foodamores. Let's finally overcome the underpowered beast march ready. Yeah. Man, we need to fix that fucking class, man.
I want food companion. What is this? What is it called? Raining Meatballs 2? Was that what the movie was called? Oh yeah, it was that. It was Raining Meatballs 2. Or was it a Chance of Meatballs? Something like that. It was a DreamWorks movie, if not mistaken. That literally had that, where all the food in the world came sentient.
Okay. Let's see. So we've got that. Okay, is it going to be level? Is the question. Is it going to be a first level spell? I guess it probably should be, because if you can do this all the time, you'd just be spamming like, eat this food, eat this food, eat this food. So I think it should be like a
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Thank you.
First level spell, because we've only got a few first level spell slots.
Right. Yeah.
And the Slop is one of those first level spells.
So we're going to delete the whole at level 6 thing? Right above?
No, because you still get first level spells at level 6. You just have loads of them at that point.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Never mind.
No, the stuff is really confusing, honestly. The spell stuff is confusing. So, the only custom class I've made was Zen Lord. Anyone within 15 feet was doomed, but if I could avoid that range, I was royally screwed. If you want to send in stuff for us to review, we will do that, because in this hour we're both making and reviewing stuff that you guys create. So feel free to drop a link or send an attachment in an email, and we'll go ahead and give it a look for you guys. So we've got Chef's suggestion. At level 14, we had this idea that any enemy that fails a con save begins to starve, or any enemy...
Anyone that is in... that the chef can see in his cone of sight, basically.
What about like a radius? Because if you can see them, could change, I guess, couldn't it? But if they're within like a zone, like an aura, so any enemy within, I don't know, like 30 feet or something like that, fails a con save, against spell save DC, begins to starve, and then we can have a special effect for that starvation.
Isn't that fatigued? Isn't there already a side effect called fatigued?
is actually a condition. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
In 5th.
I think it limits you to like 1 movement, 1 attack round. You have severe minuses. It's what happens if you don't rest and don't eat or anything. It's just
Aura of aroma.
aroma.
That's so good. Aura of aroma. The most fun part about doing this is just
His names, yeah. Aura of appetite, or Aura of aroma, yeah.
Yeah. We've got the gourmet slop, the damn good grub, the one-stop slop, proofs in the pudding, aura of aroma. We've got not the slop. The slop itself is great. Let's see here, then.
It's like the anti-magic cone of a beholder, but instead of starvation cone. Yeah, pretty much.
Like a 15-foot cone, maybe. Okay, that could be interesting. Then 15-foot cone. Maybe it's a spell. Maybe it's a spell. So it could be like a, I don't know, like a level 14. So I don't know what level it would be, or like a level 4 spell or something like that. 4th level spell, range. Let's have anyway, 15 cone. Effect. Oops. Any enemy that fails a con save spell begins to starve, and it will have its own effect for. We can make up our own thing what starve is.
Oh boy.
So what does like fatigue normally do?
Okay. Starve. All targets automatically fail the chef's suggestion. They have to eat the food. They don't have a choice.
Ooh.
They're starved. It's basically how he can just spread food around, and then you starve, and then they just all tear into it, and they're poisoned.
Oh man, you are compelled.
Unless you're physically restrained, basically.
Eat the food of the sour saucier and will take all actions on their turn.
It's like frightened, but towards food, I guess.
Yeah, to move towards the food and eat it. That is pretty cool.
You basically just force an entire army of people to poison themselves, provided you've put out the food for it. That could work really well, though, if you have like the ability to almost insta-slop. Like, you've made this huge thing of slop that's poison, you just place it down the battlefield, use that, and then they just all dive into it.
Just dive in, yeah. I think maybe at level 3, instead of the innate ability to sense poison food...
Oh, yeah, alright. Remove that.
Yeah, that's not so good. What we could do is give them a few poisons that they already know. So that they already have a few poisons that they can create with.
Right, yeah.
Right? Because otherwise they have to get
like a sleeping potion and a generic, you take 1d3 damage per round, like, you know, those kind of things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gain knowledge.
Nature? I think knowledge nature is used for it.
Yeah, maybe it's like a nature check to create it. Yeah,
because you guys don't have craft alchemy here, do you? Craft potion or anything?
No. So I guess it's all nature-based.
Yeah.
In order to be able to create the following poisons, and we can find up following poisons. We know it's be capped on that.
Will they fight over it? Oh, that's cool. You do that, you put out one sandwich and watch them tear each other apart.
Yeah, that could be interesting, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
So we'll just call this one poisoner for now.
Yeah.
To gain knowledge to be able to code the following poisons, so we give them a couple that they can do, maybe. I need to find a list of some different ones. Sweet Tooth causes temporary mute as it sticks teeth together.
That's horrible for spellcasters.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad, actually. Come to think of it. Let me go into my... I guess it'll be in the DMG is where I should look for this, for some different poisons that we could give to them. Now, any ideas for poisons that you guys know of that we should use? We're going to be searching for them for a moment here.
I actually have an old book here that has a good deal of stuff into it.
Okay.
Ultimate Equipment module from 3.5. I can see what I got here. Alchemical remedies. Yeah. Alchemical remedies. I'll see what's in the list if there's anything useful. So...
Bitmage, we have a big cooking buff to our party already. It's known as the Slop. It's the kind of core mechanic of this class, I guess. Once per day during a long rest, you can create the Slop. You have to make a roll to succeed on it. You have to have enough ingredients to be able to make it, but you can gain, you can feed certain amounts of people depending how well you succeed, and you can give them 1d8 per battle chef level, temporary hit points, 1d4 towards any roll within the next 24 hours, or giving them resistances to poison, fire, lightning. So it's pretty powerful because you can give it to multiple people, more than just a party even. So that's pretty cool.
I've got a whole page of poisons here. I don't know if any of these are useful though, because they have to be converted to 5th edition. But yeah.
I mean, let me see.
There's probably a 5th edition poison list as well.
Yeah, 257 is where I'm going for this. 257.
Right.
We have a Luke, and we'll see what we got going here. If it will have a load, they will. Let's see.
Lollipop of Lunacy. I love the name, but I can't think of an effect yet. Until you reach the center, you won't stop licking. And how many licks is that going to take? You don't know.
Oh, thanks so much to Silly Abe.
Oh, hey, that's my girlfriend.
Oh, hey, welcome to the adventure. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thanks for joining us today. Perfect.
Yeah, now we're 6 followers away from 4,000.
Oh boy, that's scary, but awesome. I was thinking of a D&D game. Welcome. Go ahead, man. Let's see what other spells I got here. Okay, this is loaded up. 257. Need to scroll down a little bit. Here we go. Diseases, poisons. Okay, so sample poisons. We've got the Assassin's Blood. We've got Carrion Crawler Mucus, Drow Poison, Serpent Venom. Oh, we can give some of these.
Because we kind of want them to be like generic, because we want them to go out and hunt for poisons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Should we like start them off with like 3 then, or something? 3 different ones.
Yeah, 3 different poisons maybe.
One that induces like sleep, one that does stat damage, and one that does something else.
Yeah. So what about the Carrion Crawler Mucus, which is contact? This poison must be harvested from a dead or incapacitated Carrion Crawler, but they just know it for some reason. They have it, have knowledge of it. A creature subjected to this poison must succeed in the DC 13 Constitution saving throw. Be poisoned for 1 minute. The poison creature is paralyzed. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself. A success. That's kind of cool.
This guy basically just lets his food go so bad it turns into poison. He learns the effects of the various types of mold.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the okay. So torpor might be a bit more good, a bit better. A creature subjected to this must succeed in a DC 15 saving throw con, or become poisoned for 46 hours. The poisoned creature is incapacitated. That's pretty cool. Maybe that could work here. Let's go. The way it comes out in PDFs is weird.
Control Shift V will paste it without formatting.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That. So clever. Let's bring this up like here. Okay, so we're good. So we've got a torpor. Any other ones like a sleep one maybe?
Yeah. Like if you fail it by a certain degree, you're drowsy. If you fail it by more, you actually fall asleep instantly. Those kind of things.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if there is one.
Malice, become poisoned, or you become... Okay, what about blinded? So malice. So what do you say, Control Shift V?
Yeah, Control Shift V.
Oh my god, oh, it didn't work.
What?
Control Shift V. No, okay. Doesn't seem
That
like,
is weird.
never mind. I'll just mess around with this for a second.
I know it does it with fonts and text sizes. That should automatically change.
Maybe it's just because it's in a PDF. I have no idea really. But so you could have.
I know it works from web pages.
Or blinded, incapacitated, blinded. We'll have bolden these so we can see the differences.
What if we have one poison that makes them more susceptible to other poisons? Gives you minuses to con.
That could be interesting.
You could use that to like plan some stuff up. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be cool. So at 14, you can practically cast mass incapacitation. Exactly. How sick would that be?
Yeah.
Sticky toffee pudding restrains enemy either when they eat it or maybe when they come within 5 feet of it, explodes like a landmine and restrains them. Oh, sick. All this food talk is making me hungry. This food talk is making me hungry because it's all sounding gross. You know?
It is horrible. We're talking about like moldy food poisoning slop here.
Yeah, the slop does not make me hungry.
I mean, food is a very rough definition with this class. It's food.
What's up, Lord Fry2? It's good to see you, man. How's it going? You're new here. If so, feel free to ask any questions that you have, my man. Do not hesitate to ask, and we'll do our best to answer them. We're currently creating the Battle Chef class, and in about 20 minutes here, we're going to head on over to our next show, which is an actual play game called Numenera. The ninth world is the season finale. It's the very last one, so I'm super excited to get into it. It's going to be scary. I'm going to see who lives, who dies, and we're all very invested in that game. So it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to tonight's session. So also, if you guys didn't know, this is going to be the last game in like 20 minutes. So like we see Mitch in for a while because he's off doing law school stuff. So we're going to lose him for a bit. So if you like the Mitch, then come along for tonight because it'll be the last you see of him for a while. Mitch has gone away on a very long holiday and he won't be coming back now. He'll be fine. Let's see.
How you doing, Lord?
What's up, man? So we get Aaron, do you want to write in a third different ability there that we could have? A third different poison, rather?
The one that makes you more susceptible to con, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I like that con one.
Because you can use it to basically prepare something. Like, if you know the enemy's really good at con, you can basically first poison with that, and then poison whatever else you want, and you have a less chance of failing.
Exactly, yeah. That'd be cool. Because you can poison them multiple times. I was in the army for 10 years, I'll eat anything.
And you call it just, like, weaken?
Yeah, weaken maybe, yeah. Unless you guys in chat think of a different name we could give to it.
It's something like that, yeah. Basically, just it screws up your immune system kind of thing, so...
I mean, yeah, the cool thing about this is that we're basically just throwing out ideas at this point, you know, we're not getting that, we're not, like, nailing anything down, we'll go through a lot of playtesting and stuff.
Let's have this be just an automatic success, because it's not actually going to be that severe. You understand what I mean? So,
yeah, I like that, actually. Because otherwise it's a bit underpowered compared to the others, like...
Automatically, well, what is it called? Basically, they gain a disadvantage? Is that how it's referred to?
The enemy gains disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. Let's see. Tweet set up. Sounds like both of us typing at the moment. Bloating, that could be a good one. Belly buster. Mitch ate the slop and crit failed to save. Now I'll miss him for a while. I know, yeah. I'll just put something in the Discord as well, so guys, and I'll give a proper kind of send off here. I've also got some hot exclusives.
Bless you. And bless you.
Thank you. I've got some hot exclusives about you know, because Mitch fulfills a role on like, the website and doing a bunch of stuff, but I've got Mitch's replacement is being announced. So you know, the new Mitch, new improved Mitch 2.0.
Oh, you made that sound so mean.
Unfortunately, he's not Canadian. So.
Better Mitch. Okay.
Last Supper. Oh, Last Supper's a good name. Last Supper. I like that a lot.
Oh, yeah, with the one-stop slop thing? No, not the one that makes everyone dive in. Was that what he was thinking of?
Yeah.
The aura of aroma, whatever we're gonna call it. No, not that. Chef suggestion, I think. it's that one, I think.
That would, yeah, I think that's cool.
Last Supper.
Last Supper. Let me mess around here for a second. Yeah, man.
I think we barely made that. Like we've got this class pretty much done right on time, didn't we?
Fair amount. Yeah, I mean we did this in like 3 hours. We created a class. So
right.
We
not even concept like stats all the way through too.
Yeah. I mean it's not like perfect, but it's certainly got a lot
playable.
Of cool. Yeah, it's playable. I'd say.
And it's unique, which I think is like the biggest selling point.
That's the most important thing, isn't it? It's fairly unique compared to some other things that I've seen, you know, around. So yeah, I think we did a good job so far. We should go down and we should go through and have a look to see if there's anything which is just like completely broken or we think we need to change at this point, I guess, so we can be objective about some edits early on. So I guess we'd go back up to the top and have a look through. What have you done?
Well, if we've used the weaken that makes all enemies gain disadvantage on future con saves, and then we use the aura of aroma, where any enemy that fails a con save begins to starve. I mean, basically, you can incapacitate an entire army like with like a bowl of soup, basically.
Yeah, that is true.
You give them a weakness to con, then you put out your poison soup, and they have no choice but to dive in, and they all die, especially if it's really good poison.
It's disadvantage on con, and it's only within a 15-foot cone.
Yeah, it's not that bad. That you still like, and you don't want to be up and close because these guys don't have armor or weapons at all. So it's still a really good risk to yourself. If they have any archers, you're dead.
Yeah, that's right, Church.
If they see you walking up with a huge crock pot, you know they're gonna.
Yeah. I'd be happy to playtest the Battle Chef, especially if there's also Gourmet coming out. Yeah, in like November time, they're releasing that new module. I've got it in my calendar somewhere. I've got an email from Watson at some point. But yeah, let me go and see the exact date for you guys. I'll write it down somewhere or other. But
that'd be so sweet.
They are releasing a bunch of new material stuff, which is going to be great because I'm always complaining about not enough player options. They're also releasing a new Giants campaign, which I'm sure you guys have seen the different promotional material streamed.
No, that's the thing. Like one dude's going to get the bowl and die from the poison, all the other dudes are going to die from tearing each other apart.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much food there is. The entire army is out. And even if they don't die, they're still fatigued and probably heavily damaged. So it's just, you just go mop them up afterwards.
What if it's... Okay, what if it is the aura begins to starve, they can attempt to save each turn?
Oh yeah, that works. Like, I mean, the con disadvantage is going to be nasty, but it's not going to be entirely impossible. Especially for people with high con.
Turn, each round... each round at the end of the turn, rather.
Yeah.
Each round, at the end of the turn, the starving character...
It's still nasty, but it's level 14 nasty, which is okay.
Yeah.
Because by that point, you're going to have wizards that are just going to be annihilating you and sending you other dimensions and all that bullshit. So, like, if you're able to walk up with a crock pot to another army without getting insta-killed, you should be allowed to do that.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Let me see the dates for you guys. I have them here. So, Storm King's Thunder comes out Tuesday, September 6th. You'll be sure that we'll be playing through that and playing that game all the way from start to finish, as per usual. Volo's Guide to Monsters is what it's called. Tuesday, November 15th, Orcs and Goblins as playable races. I wrote it down on my calendar, so we definitely know that's when they're happening.
That's going to be fun.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but I imagine me and Aaron will probably start making our own monster races on this show in the following weeks, so we can compare them to Volo's Guide to Monsters when that comes out officially. Here's the next question. Are we going to upload the Battleship document somewhere so we can use it for playing? So what we could do, there's a few different options with what we could do with this. So one which was suggested to me by some of the mods is that we could include this in our monthly Patreon newsletter. So I could put one of these in the newsletter every month, which could be cool. The other one is I just put them on a website somewhere, some kind of link to the document that you can go and view and edit. And the third option, which we might do anyway, on top of this, is to just put them into a PDF downloadable book on the Monster Manual, on the DM's Guild or on our own website in the future, so you guys can just go and download them. It would be like pay whatever you want, because there'd be like a compendium of like 5 to 10 races, classes and stuff. So that could be interesting as well. So there's a bunch of different options. I haven't actually decided on exactly...
We could put out the Google Doc, but disallow editing, but allow commenting so people can comment like, oh, in my campaign we found out that this was kind of broken.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, actually. So what we'll do...
And you can host that on your website or whatever, so...
Yeah, I'll host it on my website over the next few days. I'll put this up, and I'll share it so you guys can comment. So you won't be able to edit it yourself, but you'll be able to comment and suggest changes and stuff like that, and I'll
you just mark text and then you right-click and just add comment, so...
Exactly, yeah. It's really simple to do on a Google document. Plus on the wrapping. What's up for a play? Good to see you, Josh. Look how close to 4,000 we are now, man. It's been... Oh, it's creepy. But it's pretty awesome. So let's see here. So I think there's a few options that we'll go with. That we can go with. Just getting set up for the next game now. Getting this roll 20 stuff sorted. Aaron hit the nail on the head. I think Google Doc for the win. Yeah, I think he was right there.
How you doing, Eva?
So yeah, we can all get that going, and you guys can comment and stuff like that. And then later on, we might release it as a book or a PDF or something like that for you guys.
Okay. Collective, you know, we have this tested and balanced roughly.
Yeah, exactly. Once it's ready, I guess. Yeah. So the
player tested, DM approved.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. But if you guys have been enjoying this show, we're going to be heading off here in a few minutes to go on a countdown to our next show, which is the season finale of Numenera, Enter the Ninth World. I'd like some feedback from you guys in chat. Did you enjoy today's show? Do you like homebrew and review? Would you want to see more stuff? And also, of course, most importantly, some suggestions for next week's one. We might edit this one a bit in the week after your feedback. But what would you guys like to see next, I suppose? And I'll put this in my little notepad here, different ideas for what you'd like to see next. The great ERP Homebrew Compendium, the Encounter Roleplay Compendium. Well, I might have a few hostilities to drop about that at some point.
I'd already gotten a question about that, actually, from a guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, regarding the creation of not only magical items, but actually artifacts. Items that you want to be, like, the center point of the campaign, but you want them to, like, grow with the players, maybe they're sentient, giving them personalities, making them not OP. How do you balance such things?
Okay, so sentient items we'll put on there.
Yeah, just magical items, like we're talking like the grandest of grand artifacts type things. So.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Sentient items grand magical ones. I'd like to see maybe a homebrew campaign. That would probably take several weeks to do. I like the idea of doing these kind of episodically, where we could, each week do a different thing, but maybe that's something to look into. Can we get a Shadowmancer? Sure. We'll look into a Shadowmancer. There's no guarantee that these will be on next week, of course, guys, but on this list, we will keep getting through them as much as we can. Let me message Mitch here real quick, or even Mike. Any of the guys that are online. We'll see. Can we get Shadowmancer? Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, actually. Some kind of dude who, magically works for these shadows. And we'll see what else you guys want to get in. But like I say, we'll be going on a 10-minute countdown in just a few moments here once we're ready. If you did enjoy today's show, then do hit that follow button and join us, of course. Shout out to my boy Aaron over at Tabletop Twitch.
Thank you.
And for the awesome overlay today, making blush. And
definitely.
Aaron over there, he does a bunch of good work. Aaron, is there anything you wanted to shout out? I remember you mentioning this earlier to me, and I've forgotten.
What? Well.
You said you wanted to shout something out? I forget.
Oh, no, it was that, just saying the link, yeah. Oh. No, you've got the final of Numeria, no way in hell. I'm gonna go over to my channel, I'm gonna be doing some map drawing, but just guys, you want to see the final of Numeria, definitely, no questions about that. So...
Nice.
But yeah. No, I've had a good time, thanks for having me, it's been a great fun. So
it's been great, man.
It's been really fun. I got high hopes for this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking these classes out, changing them up, and getting some more stuff going. So we're going to be back in a few minutes here, guys. Don't worry, the stream is going to go down for 2 seconds, and it's going to be coming right back up again like the Donga, and it will rise ever stronger from the depths, and we'll be playing Numenera finale in just a few seconds here. So we'll see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back for Mitch's last kind of stand, his last show, the finale. Politician, who draws. But until then, guys, we'll be back in a few seconds. We'll be in a countdown. See you in 10. Get a drink, get some food, and of course, until next time, try not to draw too many nat ones because we're going to be here laughing when you do. So see you later, guys, in just a few moments here.